are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. So here we go. It's just about to go away. They bump coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Bynum. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins.
Four drivers remain on the championship stage, and it all ends here. We're at the Phoenix Raceway, where tonight we welcome you to live coverage of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series Championship night, exclusively here on the KBueno Racing Network. Glad to have you join us on the final step to championship glory and what will be a tense race all throughout. And as always, with Charlie Baier up in the booth, my name is Kenneth Bueno. And Charlie, 15 races have gone by in a flash, where we kick things off and at Daytona with the gate wide open for any driver to make their runs, and it's all closed up. 4 drivers remain, and 1 will prevail after tonight.
Yeah, it feels like just a few weeks ago we were at Daytona broadcasting our first ever race on the KBueno Racing Network for this series. So we've come quite a long way until then, and it's come down it all comes down to this. 4 drivers tonight will have 150 laps to decide a champion, all on a level playing field. We're going to see lots of jostling for position, trying to hot lap, trying to nail that pit strategy. And those last final laps, I can assure you, is going to be one heck of a battle between those 4 guys.
And Charlie, we've talked about the point standings all season long, and we've seen firsthand just how much they've changed since Daytona. But if you look at the standings now, it's just the 4 that remain. Parker White, Blaze McKinney, Nick Miller, and Glenn Bundren, the 4 drivers that will be fighting for a Bundren Lawn Care Series championship. No points are going to be really necessary tonight, as if you finish ahead of the other championship drivers, you will be crowned the Bundren Lawn Care Series champion, and it is going to be intense. And as we look at the entire schedule and what we saw, we're going to take a look at the schedule that we actually went through all the way to here at Phoenix. You look all the way at Daytona, where we started at race number 1. We were just at Bristol last week. Now it's already checked off the list, so one more track to go. And Charlie, we've had our fair share of short tracks, super speedways, and different types of venues. What really makes this track different, especially now that it is a championship event?
You know, I really like to see this track as kind of a combination between a short track and kind of a longer 1.5-mile racetrack. You have those really long sweeping corners, but you also kind of have them kind of tighter, kind of like a short track. So I really enjoy this track. I think it's a great track to host the finale. Obviously, I may be biased, but I definitely like Homestead. But this track is definitely a second pick of mine, and it's also possible to use the bumper around here since you do have kind of those tighter corners. So, you know, I think it's a great racetrack, very slick. But once that night falls, it'll get very tight, and these guys are definitely going to be jostling for it.
Yeah, and speaking of this track, we're going to find out how far we went to get here with our KBRN Track Map with images provided by Google Earth. Got to take 1 mile around this racetrack. You see Bristol Motor Speedway where we were last week. Take the trip all the way back west where we ended the season in the desert. There's Phoenix Raceway, a 1.0-mile racetrack, 4 turns located in Avondale, Arizona. 8 degrees in the turns in 1 and 2, 10 degrees out in 3 and 4. Track opened in 1964. So a very, very interesting venue, and a second short track in a row to end these playoffs. And Charlie, we've seen the different ways each driver has attacked the short tracks in this Championship 4, and with one of the drivers winning last week at another short track, what are the tips to making this championship run feasible at the checkered flag when it comes tonight?
I really think consistency is key, especially around these short tracks, and trying to find that line definitely. And this track has changed a lot over the years, especially on the iRacing service. And recently people will kind of open up the door to use the apron in turns 3 and 4, and you're really not really on the racing surface. So that kind of gives them an advantage as well. And if you can master that while your back end is trying to step out and while your car is still loose, you're definitely going to run some pretty fast laps out here. There's also that apron kind of in the middle of the backstretch where people can cut, but it does come at a cost because that does burn up your tires quite a bit. So it's really kind of a strategy racetrack. There's a lot of different approaches to run around here, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys handle it.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We still got a couple minutes left in the warm-up, so it's probably the best time to start talking to those Championship 4 drivers and what their expectations are going into tonight at Phoenix Raceway. We're going to start with the driver who won last week at a short track at Bristol Motor Speedway. He took the win last week. He is looking for a championship here tonight. First of all, I'm Blaze. Welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us, first of all?
Hello?
All right, Blaze, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Blaze, you're coming into this year with 2 years in a row you've been in this Championship 4. You were here last year at Homestead in Season 1. Now you're coming into Season 2 with a lot more experience, and especially a lot more experience with this Cup car. What is your plan of attack with you and your SPG team to take a championship here tonight?
Yeah, hopefully we can start up front and keep our track position. I feel like track position is going to be key if we can get up there and then just try to hang on to it through all the pit stops and all the wrecks and whatever else is going to happen. But I know Parker is going to be pretty quick tonight. Nick, Glenn, all those guys, it's going to be fun to race against them. And I mean, of course, all the guys that aren't in the playoffs are going to be fun to race with too. So it's going to be tough, but hopefully we can get a good qualifying spot and then just kind of work off from there and see what the race throws at us.
Well, certainly over the course of the season, it seemed as though you were very, very confident in your ability. And of course, obviously those wins really show that. But going into Phoenix, I know that this was one of your best tracks according to you. And of course, Bristol, one of your favorites as well. What is it really about these short tracks that really help you out in terms of the advantage and how you plan to run here tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I've never been a fan of the mile and a halves with this package, with this car. So when we come to these short tracks, I really enjoy it. It's kind of my style of racing, just kind of on edge with the really high power and slipping and sliding and beating and banging. It's just the way I like it. And obviously Bristol last time we got the win, so that kind of brought some momentum, and hopefully we can keep it going here tonight. I know the track's going to change from practice to the race, so it's not really going to be showing kind of how we perform in practice to the race. So it's going to be kind of different to see how that changes. And of course the track will change throughout the race. So we just got to keep up with it and keep up with all the pit stops and the different strategies and everything. And I think we can get the win, hopefully.
All right, Blaze, well, we certainly wish you luck here at Phoenix Raceway. I know it's going to be a dogfight of a night, so we wish you luck, and of course everybody else going into this race tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Blaze McKinney out of the booth, and we just got practice warmed up and pretty much all of it concluded, just about 5 seconds left. So we'll try to get in the other three just a little bit after qualifying, and qualifying seems to be where the drivers are at most focused to put themselves in the front of this grid. And Charlie, you just mentioned it, that we will be that he will try to position himself in the right way, just like you mentioned in the interview, trying to qualify yourself in the right place and then move on from there. I think a lot of drivers are going to be starting to think about that. And as you see, the sun just dipped a little bit. The track looks a little bit more shady, and that is because we're going to be running into the nighttime here at Phoenix Raceway. A day-to-night transition, especially in the sunset, going to be insane here at Phoenix. And Charlie, we've been through this entire season. We saw the best and the worst of the series. We've seen the chaotic races. We've seen the more tame ones, and we pretty much saw all the types of racing that we saw in the season. What really will be standing notable here tonight, especially now that we have 4 drivers with a chance at a championship, with still some drivers mixed in?
Well, obviously we've been to a lot of different short tracks throughout the series so far. So I think, that short track experience, people like Blaze McKinney, who have won at those short tracks. He won at Richmond, North Wilkesboro, and Bristol. So he pretty much almost swept all the short tracks. So I think that, it's definitely really going to come down to experience and really who has the most, especially racing around the same guys we've been racing around all season. People like Nick Miller who did join halfway through the season. So I think experience is definitely going to be key here tonight, and trying to run those corners is definitely tire saving.
Yeah, tire saving going to be key. And of course, we saw at so many tracks like the mile and a half, so we saw how much that pit strategy really affected a lot of the other drivers in the tire wear. We saw it at Homestead, at tracks like Las Vegas, at tracks like Chicagoland. Lots of venues where we saw the tires really fall off and the strategies start to kick in. We saw drivers go down pit road, and we saw lots of drivers doing different strategies. Most notably, Parker White going into this event. We saw him do it a couple of times, Charlie, through Vegas. We saw him do it at, I believe, Chicagoland. We saw him do it at some other the venues in this season. And if you're really looking for a strategist, there probably would be a couple of drivers. Nick Miller obviously standing out, Blaze McKinney being one of those drivers. But you can't count out Glenn Bundren. He's also one of the drivers that we'll be talking about, and somebody that we'll actually bring in to try and talk to and see what his expectations are going into this championship race here at Phoenix Raceway. We're going to try to bring him in. And Glenn, first of all, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Kenneth.
All right, Glenn, going into this championship, I know me and you talked about this on Instagram Live just shortly before the race, but I know this is a very familiar moment for you. You were here last season. Well, not exactly at this venue, but you were here at the championship for last season, and you captured a championship there. What do you want to take away from season one that will definitely help you going into tonight, or if there's anything that you want to take away?
Patience, pitch strategy. We're all going to have to go through that. Honestly, my strategy is big long run. If we get that big long run, I think we'll be tough to beat with our pitch strategy. But different car, different track, like you said. I don't know what to expect. Yeah, I didn't qualify where I wanted to be. I wanted to qualify in the top 10, but we got some work to do. We got to get through two tough machines in front of us. Blaze hasn't put a lap down yet, so that's soon to change. But we're hoping to get a good, solid victory in the championship. Hopefully, go back to back.
And the last time you went to that championship was in an Xfinity car. You're in the Cup car this season, and this time, is there somewhat of a different feeling with this car? Is there something maybe that might be a challenge for you coming into tonight, knowing that you're in a different style of car than last season?
No, absolutely. We can get very, very loose off corner exit, off 4 and 2. I mean, you guys saw it in practice. I mean, it's gonna be sketchy, but as the night falls, I think the track might come to us.
All right, Glenn. Well, we wish you luck in this Championship 4 journey, and of course, we hope to see you during this race and putting on a great show for us here in this booth, and hopefully, we may see you capturing a championship for the second time in a row tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Glenn Bundren out of the booth. He is currently one of the drivers who really had to hustle his way in, Charlie. We saw the different types of drivers we see in this series, at least, that went into the Championship 4 and that were in the playoffs. You're looking at Blaze McKinney, the dominator, the one that's been really consistent, the one that's really shown his power throughout this entire season. Then you have a driver like Nick Miller, who's a little more tactical. There's some other drivers there, and then Parker White, who's always been captured in points and has always been part of the consistency. And then Glenn Bundren, who had to hustle his way. Lots of drivers in this group that really showed their different driving styles. And of course, Charlie, I think you'll be there with Parker White to interview him and see what his perspective is going into the Championship 4.
And Parker, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Parker, we've seen you and watched you throughout the entire season so far, and you've really been the man of consistency, but you just haven't been able to close out that win. But we're finally here at the championship race. You're currently second on the qualifying board, just 1/100th of a second behind Blaze McKinney there. What's the strategy, and how do you plan to go out there and try to win a championship tonight?
Well, throttle control is definitely the key here at Phoenix. So definitely, I've practiced that. Tire saving, that's also another big factor. Just keeping the car clean, that's also another thing I'm going to try to do. Obviously, I've got to run up front, and pit strategy, if we get a green run, that's also going to be a factor. So I think I'm pretty set for this race.
All right, Parker, we don't have a lot of time left as we are gridding. We're going to get to our starting lineup in a bit. So we do wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you out there. Good luck, man.
All right, thank you.
Parker White, one of the drivers who's hoping to close out a championship without a win this season.
And Parker White being one of those drivers. And unfortunately, I don't believe we have time to talk with Nick Miller, at least for the moment. We're starting to get to grid on the front straightaway, or at least going into turn number 1. So I'm not sure whether we have enough time to get to it, but regardless, we're going to get to the grid nonetheless, and shown on your screen. Blaze McKinney with a 27.180 puts himself on the pole. It's just what he mentioned in the interview, putting himself in the right place and moving on from there right to his outside. Fellow championship driver and one of the drivers who's been consistent all season, Parker White, starts in row number 1.
Row number 2 sees Auto Club winner El Maroni Jr. driving for SPG Evo Simsport, currently sitting on the inside of row number 2, and to his outside fellow teammate, along with the pole sitter, SPG Esports driver of the number 88, Nick Miller, who's also fighting for a championship.
And then back to row 3 is the driver who is coming back after winning the LWRC Cup Series. Cole Williams in the 42 round out in the 5th position. Right to his outside, Talladega winner Shane DiMantova going to try to get one on the short track.
And looking back to row number 4, Talladega winner of the LWRC Cup Series on the KBueno Racing Network, Brady William in that 5 guys number 00 car. And to his outside, my personal teammate, Tress Shuttlesworth, that number 19 SPM Racing Toyota Camry.
And then looking back is one of the other playoff drivers and the championship drivers that we're going to be talking about all night long. The 37 Glenn Bundren, right to his outside, driver who's been very consistent in certain races. Cole Woody, no 14, starts in the top 10.
And now to round out your top 10, we're going to scroll through the field very quickly as we're going to begin our pace laps here in Phoenix International Raceway. 150 more laps to decide a champion and to cap off an amazing season with a bunch of new drivers. It's been a lot of fun, but we're getting ready to go green one final time in the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series.
The field will be in the hands of Blaze McKinney and Parker White. Pace car will be off of pit road. We will go championship racing here in the desert. Green flag is out. Blaze McKinney will lead them all down.
We kind of saw a stack up there with Parker White, but everyone's looking to get sorted out here. Marooney slides himself into second.
Aaron Maruti to second. Parker White will fall to third, but that'll leave Cole Williams and Nick Miller trying to get 3 wide, almost into turn 3. Almost could have been close, and we got a caution out on the racetrack already. Seems to be Brady Willeman involved in the 00. He seems to have gone around. It seems to be all by himself. We'll take a replay and see exactly what just happened there. This is all Brady Willeman, I think, at this part. You're looking at back here. Not sure he was all by himself at this moment.
Yeah, he just got back going here. It looks to be maybe on the first lap. He kind of spun going on the back straightaway, trying to get to the apron. I'm not sure if we're going to get to a replay of that, but
What's this? Coming off of turn 2, so it was just about here. I see a little wobble there from the 00.
It was on lap number 1 that he caused the yellow.
All right, well, lap 1 will cause the yellow nonetheless, and we'll have a yellow for the first time this evening. Unfortunately, not able to get the replay there, but nonetheless, already an early start here in the Bundren Lawn Care Series, already under the yellow flag. I saw a couple drivers head down pit road, and most notably Mitch Hobbs. I see the 02 also down there as well. Josh Patterson, Jacob Tyler May also making his trip. William Schmidt also probably just to get some things topped off on their service, at least on their race cars for the most part. But well, they haven't seen much in lap 1. It's already been crazy. We've already seen a lot of this, Charlie, in most of these races. We've seen lap 1 come and go, and then we see the yellow already come out, and already you gotta try to woe it down because you're so anticipating the long run and the green flag, trying to start yourself up in the first couple laps in the opening laps, and then as soon as that happens, the yellow comes out, kind of slows you down.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm looking forward to getting some green flag racing here because this is definitely one of my favorite tracks to drive and to watch on this service, especially down the back straightaway. It's so wide, and you're able to gain so much time, but at the cost of losing tires. So, a caution on lap number 1. We're going to get going back green here shortly, and we're going to finish off the season, hopefully on a high note.
You talk about Blaze McKinney, is currently sitting first, obviously started on the pole, but a recent move by Blaze McKinney, he actually decided to go to SPG Esports after the closure of Peak Performance Motorsports, and after that happened, he decided to join the likes of Aaron Maroney, Nick Miller, and a bunch of other drivers. Shane DiMantova also in that group as well. Lots of drivers in SPG, lots of very talented ones at that, and Blaze McKinney, you can see, at least on his quarter panel, you don't see it now, but once you'll see him come around, there it is on the corner panel, the SPG Esports logo, and right to his outside fellow teammates. So we'll probably see him next season in a Toyota Camry, but for now, started the season in a Chevy Camaro, looks to end the season the exact same way, hopefully maybe with a championship in hand. But Charlie, we saw this quick already, just how quick things happen at places like Phoenix, especially going to 1 and 2 and then down to the dog leg where you have all that space to kick down. And we saw a couple drivers do that already.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned next season. I certainly can't wait to get to next season. As you know, obviously a lot of the drivers that we have in this field joined at least halfway through the season. They weren't able to run for a playoff spot or a championship. So I'm really excited. And it's definitely going to be a fun one for sure. But we did get the 1 to green signal, and we still got this race left to crown a champion. And this is going to be no less exciting. It is going to be a fun one throughout. So pace car's going into turn 3. He's going to drop down on the pit road. We're going to go back green flag racing.
Pace car will head down pit road. It'll be single file due to the caution on lap 1. Within 5 laps, we get single file. If not, and we go a little bit longer, we'll head a continue double file from there on out. We'll stay single file though, and Blaze McKinney will lead the entire field back to the green flag with Aaron Maroney right behind. And there goes Parker White and Nick Miller also trying to take a shot at it, and they seem to be going side by side for third place at the moment. I see a couple drivers also battling behind there. Saw one tag the wall right behind the group of Glenn Bundren, Cole Woody, and Cole Williams, but side by side for second in the point standings in the championship, Nick Miller seems to look at the bottom.
Yeah, and all 4 playoff guys are in the top 5. The only thing separating them is that number 2 of Aaron Maroney. Blaze McKinney in first, Parker White in third, Nick Miller fourth, trying to advance his position, and Glenn Bundren fifth. So we got all these guys stacked up as of right now. You see Parker White just got passed for the third place. Nick Miller just trying to catch up, using the apron to try and get as much ground as he can. But Nick Miller up to third place. He's going to try to make his charge to the front, but also Aaron Maroney's making his charge to the leader, as he's currently sitting in second. Got a good run off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it seemed he had a gap a little bit in turn 1 and 2, but as soon as turn 3 and 4 came around on that lap, he decided to gain all that ground and try to get all the way to the back bumper of Blaze McKinney. At the moment, he has yet to be successful, but we're seeing a lot of drivers fanning out, at least for the most part. We're going to look back, and now it's just mostly single file. Here's Cole Woody trying to take a shot at Glenn Bundren, but looks to be not enough. Cole Williams a little bit further back, and we're seeing just a lot of drivers fan out here early, Charlie. Probably not what we expected, but after that yellow, maybe you got to think of it.
Yeah, definitely. And this is definitely what these guys were trying to look for, is that long green flag run to really try to maximize your tire performance, tire saving, and just trying to take the corners and just trying to get a feel of the racetrack and really just trying to settle in. So I'm confident that's definitely what Blaze and Nick obviously wanted to see. Obviously, Blaze being really good with tires, Nick being really good with pit strategy. So it's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, but they will be clashing later in the race for sure. We also have Parker White kind of in between that, is really kind of a master of consistency. So in all different fields up here for the Final Four in the championship spot. So this is some of the stuff that I like to see.
And a little more of Parker White, and you just mentioned his consistency through this entire season, and that has really held true. The only thing that really hasn't held true is a race win for Parker White. He has yet to capture a checkered flag, which almost seems surprising considering how well he's done throughout this season and getting top 5s, top 10s, and so on. You expect him to get one race win, but he has yet to do so. He's had some bad luck along the way. It really hasn't helped his situation or his cause. Just trying to get a checkered flag, and hopefully this night could be the night that changes everything. And to take a checkered flag would be immense for that McGrath SimSport number 95 Toyota Camry. And really, Charlie, at a place like Phoenix, you know, you're looking at just a lot of other drivers in this fray, and obviously Blaze McKinney, Aaron Maroney, Nick Miller, lots of drivers who are very skilled at this racetrack. And, you know, it's not only a win for Parker White, It's not necessarily you have to win. It's you have to finish ahead of these drivers. And like in the past couple of races, we have seen playoff drivers like Glenn Bundren at some points, like JJ Hill, like the likes of Nick Miller and Blaze McKinney get into trouble, and they've gotten into crashes, and that has really allowed Parker White to get the better of it, as now we got a yellow on the racetrack. We're going to see exactly who might have been there, and it's Shane DiMantova in the 20 machine. He has gone around, and that seems to be the cause of the yellow flag at the moment. So caution flag waves once again. We're going to take a replay and see exactly what went down there between those drivers and see exactly what happened here. I don't really see much.
There it is.
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
just
looks like he may have caught the apron off of the final corner and just took the inside wall. Got a pretty good hit inside of there. So we saw that. That's definitely common with that apron, especially here. It's notorious for really getting people loose and spinning towards the inside wall. We also saw it at places like Martinsville, Richmond. You know, turn 4 could be one of the most treacherous places on any racetrack.
And you see him go around there just loose at that moment. You see him underneath JJ Hill here. And this is just looking up from the moment this is on board with him. We're going to take an onboard shot. See exactly what was happening here. This is off turn 4, trying to get to the inside of JJ Hill. And there at that point, just locking up the brakes, just hoping it doesn't hit the wall. And then at that point, it did hit the wall. So, looks like we're going to be back green. And speaking of which, everybody is down pit road, including the guys of Blaze McKinney and everybody on the lead lap. Going to take their service down pit road, Charlie.
Yeah, and pit stops are going to be crucial, especially under caution when they're all bunched up going into the pit lane like that. We're going to see, because a late race caution, when they all come down the pits, that's going to decide the race leader. And that'll put you probably in the best position to go out and win a championship or a race for these guys. So Blaze McKinney comes out first. Same order they came in. Blaze McKinney, Aaron Maroney, Parker White, and Nick Miller will round out your top 4. Cole Woody in top 5, and Glenn Bundren just right outside in the 6th position. So that'll round out your race off of pit road. We're going to go green flag racing here shortly.
Saw a big gain by the likes of Cole Woody and Cole Williams. The two Coles actually gaining positions on championship driver Glenn Bundren. So they will get those 2 positions over Bundren. Bundren just a little more work to do. He is currently sitting last in the playoff standings. And at the moment in his positioning, of course it could all change. But Charlie, in a playoff system like this, you know, you really have to work for it. It's very unpredictable. It's very chaotic. Lots of things can change. And especially when you have to finish just ahead of these drivers and how quick the elimination can happen, things can change very, very quickly. You mentioned the year 2016 when Jimmy Johnson was all the way in the back of the championship standings for the entire race at Homestead, and then all of a sudden everything happens within the final 15 laps or so, and then he ends up capturing a championship. Things can change so quickly, Charlie, and especially with the positioning and the chaos we've seen throughout this entire season, it's probably imminent at that point.
Yeah, and one of my favorite stories with this new championship for him was back in 2014 when Ryan Newman didn't win a single race all season, but he was consistent enough where he just stayed steady through all of the rounds and was able to get back there, and he finished second just to Kevin Harvick. And in order to win, in order to get the championship, he would have had to win that one race, but still he went the entire season without winning. And that's kind of the situation that we see Parker White and Glenn Bundren in, just kind of sitting in the back, staying consistent, moving your way through the rounds and showing up at the championship race. And that's really all that matters, is really showing up at the championship race with a good race car, good practice, good skills, and showing out and trying and almost winning a championship. So that's really what this new format introduces for all these guys. And yeah, anything is possible, really.
So we get the 1 to green signal by the pace car, which will enable everyone to go double up. We went more than 5 laps under the green flag, so that means we will head back 2 by 2. It'll be Aaron Mulrooney on the outside of row 1. Blaze McKinney will lead them to green. Miller and Parker White round out row number 2, sitting 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Cole Woody and Cole Williams being the ones into row 3. We're coming back to the green flag. Blaze McKinney with an easy start, and we are back green here at Phoenix Raceway. And obviously that great shot really shot him at the front of this field. Then at turn 1, they'll lead them down, but a lot of drivers battling right behind.
Yeah, we almost saw contact between that 95 and the 88. The 95 got a really big jump into the corner, almost got into the back end of the 88, but they are solid as of right now. Still single file. Glenn Bundren making an aggressive move to the inside of, I believe that's Dylan Basin, or maybe Josh Patterson there as well, and he's getting loose off the corner. He saves it. What a save by that 02.
Oh boy, just had to wheel that race car all the way back, and it's something that's been a struggle for a lot of these drivers at this racetrack. Just trying to throttle it out of 3 and 4. It is a tough task to do. Glenn Bundren, after that mishap by the 0-2, is going to try to shoot to the outside. He may have enough to clear, and he does. So move Glenn Bundren back to 6. Going to try to attack back to this top 5 where Cole Woody is sitting, but frankly, Cole Woody has caught up to all the drivers in this top 4. It was a 4-car breakaway in this first green flag stint, but now that Parker White, Miller, Aaron Maroney, and Blaze McKinney are all single file, now that allows Cole Woody to get back in this fray.
Oh man, you see Josh Patterson once again off that corner, just got really, really loose. Looks like he's struggling as of right now. That's going to burn up his tires, but still that top 4 is still scrunched up here, and make that top 5 as Cole Woody moves into the picture, but lead hasn't changed as of right now, as Blaze's teammate right behind him has not really tried to advance his position just yet. I don't know if that's out of courtesy because he's a championship leader, but if I were him, I would try to go for the lead.
And there's really no harm in going for the lead if you're a driver like Aaron Maroney, because Maroney is a driver that's mixed into this group that is not part of the playoffs, of course, with Cole Woody and some of the other drivers battling with Glenn Bundren like we just saw a little bit earlier. But Aaron Maroney, a winner this season already. He won at Auto Club just a couple of weeks back, and he's not a playoff driver, so anything he does is just to do it. He's not really in the mood for any points battling, no championship racing. He's just worried about taking a win, doing all he could do to capture a win, especially for his team, and that will mean a lot. And of course, the championship driver doesn't necessarily need to win this race. He would all just need to finish ahead of the other 4 championship drivers, the other 3, I should say. So if, let's say, you're Blaze McKinney, you had Aaron Maroney in front of you in first, Aaron Maroney wins this race, but you're ahead of all the other championship drivers, so you both get a win and a championship. But of course, if you're a playoff driver, I think winning might be more secure.
So it looks like they're spreading out just a little bit. Don't take my word for that, as they could scrunch up at any moment here. So Blaze McKinney currently leads out of the 4. Next in the playoff standings is Nick Miller, with Parker White looking to the inside, trying to advance his position, trying to take back 3rd place, as Nick Miller took it just a couple laps ago. Looks like Nick's got a power on the outside. Almost contact between the two, as Parker almost slid up on Nick off that exit.
And you see the drivers continuing to stay single file. Probably something we really have not expected here at a track like Phoenix. And by the way, the battle is still on for 7th place, right behind Glenn Bundren. It's Cole Woody and the 0-2 of Patterson, and he is whipping that car around. And speaking of which, the 10 of the Jacob Tyler May is around on the front straightaway, and a caution on lap 25. Out of the 150, he goes around on the front straightaway. It was in plain sight right during that battle. And we're going to take a look and see exactly what happened there between those two. It started with Jacob Tyler May back there, and this is coming back. This is out of turn 4, and then around he went. Just another situation that we saw with Shane DiMantova, Charlie, where just trying to get the most out of turn 4, you try to get back, and then as soon as that happens, you're around, and you already know it.
Yeah, it really is a tough spot to be in, especially when you start to feel that car kind of slipping out under you, and you have it, but just too little, too late as you spin off the car. This is a lap before the incident did happen here.
And this is coming out, and then as soon as that happened, he went back to this, and he actually spins again. This is live. A coverage right here coming out of pit road, and he is around on the back straightaway, and this is after the yellow has just come out. So, interesting situation, and even more damage to that race car.
All right, well, everyone's down pit road as of right now, and Jacob Tyler is still having trouble trying to make it to the pit road entrance. But pit road going right now. Everyone's trying to get 4 fresh tires. We're going to see how they all stack up out of here.
So Blaze McKinney will lead them all down. There is Aaron Maroney. Parker White will follow suit. And you see how close all of those drivers have their pit stalls. There's the 87, the 95, and the 88 right all in proximity. Glenn Bundren just a little bit further behind. And they're coming off of pit road. Going to get all their service. And we'll see who wins this one out of pit road. And easily it'll be Blaze McKinney. But Parker White with a fast pit stop. He gets out to second. And what happened to Nick Miller? He is stuck on pit road right now. And there he is out.
Yeah, he has dropped a ton of positions here. Not sure what happened. Looks like he just stayed in his pit stall for a while. I'm not sure if he's trying to get damage repair. It looks like that right rear was a little bent up. I'm not sure if he's just trying to play it safe and get that optional repair. Yeah, it looks like he just stayed in to get that optional repair. So yeah, just a precautionary measure without using that fast repair.
So caution is out once again. You see Mitch Hobbs, who currently is sitting 3 laps down. So he is one of the drivers that will take a wave around and just will wait till the 1 to green signal. By the way, if you're tuning into the YouTube chat and you want to join the conversation with us up in the booth, you can do so by using hashtag AskKBRN and join the conversation. Just have your question followed by the hashtag, and we're sure to answer it just as soon as you send it. That's hashtag AskKBRN to ask any questions of us in this booth. So 28 laps underway, and how quickly it goes by. Just at a track like Phoenix, especially at these short tracks where things happen so quickly, and the laps wind down so much. But Charlie, in terms of the yellows, I think it's been pretty tame.
Yeah, for sure. And we've definitely seen a lot of racing here throughout the run so far. And we obviously saw Parker White get ahead of Aaron Maroney on that pit stop. That's going to be a game changer because now those two guys fighting for the championship are going to be side by side. Also, Nick Miller drops all the way back to 12th place with that mishap on pit road. Maybe not a mishap. He was just trying to get those optional repairs. So he's definitely going to have a lot to carve through, and he's going to have his plate full on this restart here. So, we're just going to have to see how this all plays out. But I definitely think we're going to see some good racing on this run between those two people for the championship league.
And we'll see exactly what goes down. So field will be doubled up with Blaze McKinney and Parker White. After the mishap with Nick Miller, he will fall all the way back to 13th. He will restart there, and that's where he will be going to have to pick up some more spots. You see him just on the inside right behind the 00 car, so that's where he's going to start. He's going to see if he can pick it up. Currently sitting finalized at number 4 in the point standings at the moment. Of course, anything can still change. And off of turn number 4, pace car is off. Blaze McKinney with another great start. It'll leave Aaron Maroney and Parker White to fight for second as they all go into turn 1.
Yeah, Parker just didn't get the start that he wanted. He was hoping that he can stay on his quarter panel there on the restart, but now he's fallen back behind the 2 car and is going to squeeze him up, just barely clear. And now Parker's going to dive all the way down to the inside, trying to get to the inside and try to make the crossover.
Parker White now in a fray of a lot of drivers in a hornet's nest at the moment. Behind Aaron Maroney, it is a large train of cars and a lot of drivers battling right behind us. Cole Williams is stuck in the wall, going to try to get out of harm's way, and he does, but he's got huge damage to the right front. You see the crinkle there, and he's going to fall all the way back. There's J.J. Hill right to the inside, but a lot of drivers fighting for spots, especially like Nick Miller, who's on the inside. Contact between him and Josh Patterson. Oh, not Patterson, the 055 of Brianna Lavin, but it's going to stay green as he had to rough his way all the way to the front of this field, and now going to battle with Glenn Bundren as Cole Woody's loose on the front straight away.
We have a lot of loose race cars on the racetrack right now. Nick Miller made an aggressive move with those fresh tires and jumped up to the racetrack, got into Brianna Lavin there, and Glenn Bundren almost lost it up the corner. Cole Woody fighting that race car. These guys on these new tires, it's insane how they're trying to keep these things straight.
And it's especially off turn 4, but we saw it off turn 2 for the most part. We saw it with Cole Woody, who just went loose, and Glenn Bundren also off turn 4. It's a long sweeping left-hander, so you really have to manage your throttle, and a lot of drivers have been struggling with that over the course of the day, but not only during the course of the day, it's been during practice, especially with drivers like Parker White. Hosted a practice race just a couple of days back and was really struggling with the race car. Did not really like the feeling at his race car and how loose he's been with the throttle control, especially in 3 and 4. But he's showing some prowess right now. He has been there as Josh Patterson almost spins around once again. That's got to hurt your tires at some point.
It is insane how many saves Josh Pedersen has made off of turn number 4. He's got that thing dead sideways, and he has still managed to keep it straight. That's like the 4th or 5th time I've seen him make that save off of turn number 4. But back up front, Parker White trying to maintain that distance between the leaders right here. Maybe he's trying to save his tires here. But the only thing separating him from a championship is that number 2 car. So if he does get by him, he just has to focus on running down that 87 car.
And I think right now, with the situation at hand, you're still early in this race, Charlie, and you're only behind one driver, and that's Blaze McKinney. And he really hasn't pulled away for the most part. It's just been a Blaze, a Maroney, Parker White, and obviously Nick Miller, who's now trying to get back through this field. He's currently right behind Cole Woody, sitting in P5. But if you're Parker White right now, you know Blaze McKinney's up front, but it's not to the point where McKinney is growing such a huge lead to the point where it's basically impossible to reach him. He's still within reaching distance as we got a yellow flag on the racetrack. We'll see exactly what went down, and again, it is Shane D. Mantova in the 20 car, and the yellow will come out for, I believe, the 3rd time this evening. And we're going to take a replay and see exactly what happened with that 20 car, and this was coming off of turn 4. Again, with the turn 4. Just...
Yeah. I think he fell victim to that apron once again here.
Oh.
Hit that inside wall, but what's interesting here is here comes Mitch Hobbs, who also had the same problem. Kind of high-fived each other with the door of their cars, and Mitch Hobbs disconnected from the session. So that's the second incident with that 20 car to blame.
Yeah, now look at exactly what happened. This is on board. This is the nose cam, and right into the inside wall, and then trying to get back up the track. Mitch Hobbs, that's the extra contact there between him and the 89 of Mitch Hobbs. So once again, Shane D. Mantova involved in another incident, but at the moment, the field is singled out, and we'll see if anyone will be a taker down pit road, and the answer will be yes. Everyone behind Blaze McKinney go down pit road, and pit road is full at the moment.
And here comes that 87 car, leading him down once again. And also, Nick Miller has caught up to that 95 car. It seems like he's lost no time under that run, except just passing him. But they're all going to dive in, get 4 fresh tires and a Sunoco Racing fuel. We'll see how they'll stack up after this one.
And everyone down pit road, there's Blaze McKinney, Parker White, Aaron Maroney. There is Nick Miller. We'll see if he has a similar incident down pit road to the point where he actually lost a lot of time. But we'll just see. There's Shane D. Mantova with a heap of damage. And off pit road, it looks to be Aaron Maroney with the head of steam. He will be first off pit road, I believe, initially, and the scoring will say yes. So Aaron Maroney will shoot all the way to the front on another impressive move. But guess what, Charlie? That only enables a fight for the championship to be even hotter between Blaze McKinney and Parker White. They'll be right next to each other.
Yeah, definitely. That really just shook up this entire race, in my opinion, because now all 4 are just the 3 of those guys as of right now. As you see, the 87, 95, and the 88, yeah. And Glenn Bundren behind, just separated by 1 car. So it's definitely going to shake it up between these guys, and that really gives them the opportunity, especially Blaze being in dirty air. So he might get a bit of a slower pace here as well. And also J.J. Hill is staying out on the racetrack. I'm not sure if he's going to dive into pit road, but if he doesn't, that's just going to add to the list of issues that Blaze is going to have on this restart.
Yeah, and Blaze is going to have a fight to pick with that 95, because I know the 95 has dove down under Nick Miller just a handful of times, and I won't be surprised if he does it once more to try and take that championship lead, because he won't have to worry about Aaron Maroney at that point. He would just have to worry about taking the race lead, or taking the championship lead, and then just going on from there, just trying to hold the 87 and the 88 and the 37 at bay. It looks like J.J. Hill will be the sole car to stay out on the racetrack. Don't think he maybe got too much wear on his tires during that run, so he will stay out. And we'll probably take the 1 to green signal with the 08 out front. 08 current member of EL Media Racing, a current joiner who, when EMR started up, he is one of the drivers to transfer from, I believe it was Instagram Buds Racing to go all the way to EMR. So all the way to Instagram Buds Racing to EMR on the newly formed team. So he's rocking his normal colors that he's done all season long. No longer a playoff driver, but that doesn't really take you out for contentions of wins nonetheless. So he's going to be starting on the inside of row 1. Mulrooney will be on the outside of row 1 as well. And then goes McKinney and Parker White for the championship, sitting in row 2. Going to be very interesting. Basin Racing asks in the chat, oh, what is Brianna Lavin's car based off of? Well, seems to be more of a Basin Racing car. Beautiful, beautiful race car out there on the track. Had a little issue there, I believe, got very loose on the racetrack at once with battle, but still on this racetrack, very stable. But regardless, we're going to have 2 Toyota Camrys at the front row, the 08 of JJ Hill, and the 2 of Aaron Maroney will lead them back to green with the championship drivers right behind.
JJ Hill with the jump as of right now, but Blaze McKinney just trying to get a good restart right there. Going to dive all the way down, almost to the inside wall. That's as close as you can cut it, and he will take the race lead just with that move. Oh my goodness, just one sweep to the inside and contact with that 2 car.
Contact between the 2. Then 08 is falling like a rock right now. Going to fall to the clutches of Aaron Maroney and the 95 of Parker White, as well as the 02 of Patterson. They're going to try to work all the way together. And we'll see, they'll stay single file for the most part, and it'll still be a battle. But Blaze McKinney went all the way to the front of the racetrack. Easy pass for him to Aaron Maroney.
All right, well, that leaves Josh Patterson to move himself into the fourth position, into the top 5 here. And also Nick Miller there currently sitting 5th. So JJ fell back pretty quickly here, and that leaves a pretty big gap for Nick Miller. I believe he got caught up behind him. And we obviously, at least I heard frustration on the radio for that number 88 car, expressing his frustration for JJ Hill. And Josh Patterson once again saving that race car off the turn 4.
Oh, he's done that so many times, but that's got to hurt the tires at some point. He's also sporting a Basin Racing car on that Ford Mustang, and he's still holding within in 4th. But meanwhile, it is still close between the top 3. There's Shane DiMantova right in front of them. He will be putting around, I believe, currently still a lap car, so he will be 1 more lap down in terms of that. But for right now, it is looking stable. There's McKinney with a little bit of a bobble up. Maroney will gain ground, but Parker White's still right behind.
3-horse battle for the race lead here on lap number 45, approaching just a third of the way through the season finale here. Nick Miller has taken a toll on his run, has taken a toll on him, especially on that restart. He's fallen almost over 20 car lengths behind the leader as of right now. Not what he wanted right now, but from going from the back all the way almost to the front in the top 5 right now, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it really is. When you're looking at going through the field, it is a tough task to do for a lot of drivers. And there is Nick Miller right now, currently sitting 5th. He has really yet to gain ground on this top 4. It's just been a train for the most part this entire race between the top 3 or 4 drivers just working all together, and then as soon as that happens, they really just pull away from the rest of this field, and it continues to stay true. Miller has yet to gain any ground on them. Brady Weileman will be right behind him, and then the battle persists between the final driver in the playoffs, or at least for the championship, currently sitting behind Cole Williams, Glenn Bundren right now in 8th, and the battle continues to war on, or rage on right now, as Liz McKinney going to get by a lap car of Shane DiMantova. I don't think it's going to be any hard task, at least. He's going to move to the outside, and there goes all the 4-car train.
All right, well, now Josh Patterson has closed the gap on that 95 car, and if you race with Josh Patterson or at least watch him, you know how aggressive he is as a driver. Kind of reminds me of Brody Garner as well. Those two, obviously very hard on the gas and very aggressive with their moves. So I would not put it out of the picture that Josh Patterson would try to carve his way up through the top 4 as of right now. Obviously, with all due respect to the playoff drivers, we're going to see how it all shakes down.
So it stays consistent, the top 4 all the way at the front of this field. Then goes Nick Miller, Brady Weileman, then Cole Williams and Glenn Bundren. Brianna Lavin just right behind them. And Trey Shuttlesworth there as well. And not so much talk about Trey Shuttlesworth. He was in here at Darlington a couple weeks back, or at least a while back before the playoffs started. And I think we might have had one driver down to the inside of the apron, and it's Glenn Bundren. Had a little struggle there. I believe got loose off turn 2, but he's going to lose a lot of ground out of it.
Yeah, and he slides behind Trey Shuttlesworth. Glenn Bundren, this run is not going his way as of right now. And has fallen almost into the clutches of JJ Hill, is currently 11th trying to catch up on that number 08 NOS Energy. I believe that's a World of Outlaws sponsor or a logo on his hood.
So he's going to continue by, and we still have battle for between 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh boy, they have really not separated themselves whatsoever. It's just been all 4 of them together. Blaze, Maroney, Parker White, and Patterson. Patterson almost had the best of Parker White at one point off turn 4. He was going to go to the inside, but decided not to really go for it. He decided to back out, or maybe just did not have the momentum to make the pass, but he's still to the back bumper. And right now, Charlie, at this point, with a longer green flag run at hand, if you're one of those drivers in this top 4, what's really the plan? Is your plan just to kind of stay conservative right behind these guys? Let's say if you're Parker White, or is now the time to really start maximizing the best out of the green flag run and start to gain positions out of it?
Well, I think as of right now, you're really just trying to focus on your long run speed because you've got those first few cautions out of the way. Now, I'm kind of leaning towards seeing a kind of a longer green flag run. I believe these guys are really just going to want to focus on their tire preservation at least, and getting ready for those green flag pit stops that could be coming with that long green flag run. Again, I believe the fuel window here is about 60, 70 laps here. So we still have a ways to go as we started this run about 10, 20 laps ago. So, yeah, it's still a ways to go until we get to then, but obviously it's definitely not out of the picture.
And just to mention, just about 10 laps ago, Keelan Belsha made his trip down pit road as Josh Patterson is once again loose off of turn 4. Boy, have we seen that so many times tonight. He has just been fighting that race car, and he's going to lose a lot of ground here off turn 2. Just trying to keep it straight. He's going to lose the spot to Nick Miller, and there goes the 4-car train, now to just 3 between McKinney, Mulrooney, and Parker White.
And we see Mulrooney just trying to fight that race car off the corner, now taking the optimal line. And when you exit low, that means that you didn't have the corner speed that you wanted. So Parker White is all over his back bumper, as the 2 cars all over the back bumper of his teammate and that 87 car. So still a 3-car battle for the race lead on board with that number 2 SPG, partnering with Evo SimSport Toyota Camry, looking to that back bumper of that Chevrolet. And that's the last time we're going to see that number 87 Chevrolet, as SPG is a Toyota team, so he will be switching over there for next season.
And you see how much ground the 2 gains here. Now off of turn 2, he might have the look to the inside of Blaze McKinney, and in fact, he maybe does, but I think he lost it off of the dog leg there, and he's going to file back into turn 3 and 4, and maybe hit the reset button and try it once more to get around his SPG teammate. But like you mentioned, Charlie, running a Chevy Camaro for tonight's action, Blaze McKinney made the move to SPG, which is a primary Toyota team. So if it would have been different, if he would have ran a Toyota at the start of the season with SPG, we would have been seeing 3 Toyota Camrys up at the top of the field, 1, 2, 3. But instead, we have that Camaro spliced in. And since Blaze started the season in a Camaro, decided to stay for the rest of the season in that very same car. And of course, on to season 3, we'll see a very different look on that Crystal Lily Designs number 87 machine when we head to Daytona in a couple months after the offseason is over. But regardless of offseason talk, we are still a 1, 2, 3 right now at a breakaway for the race lead at the moment. Parker White still sitting cool in 3rd. Aaron Maroney had a little bit to fight with that race car. And then right behind them is Nick Miller, who's now in a battle with Cole Williams for the top 5 spot.
Yeah, Nick Miller, I believe Nick Miller is really, really open for a caution here, as he does at least have a little bit more right side damage to that number 88 car. Under pressure from that 42. If I'm Nick Miller, I'm definitely hoping for a caution here, just to get that reset, or either go down pit road, take that option repair, unless he wants to jump the gun on the fast repair. I'm not sure if he wants to do that right now. So obviously Cole Williams loose off of the corner all the way down to the apron.
Cole Williams had a lot to fight. It was the same situation with Glenn Bundren, where he got loose off of turn 2 and then really had to chase it all the way down to the dog leg. So no more fights for Nick Miller at the moment, which is probably what he wanted. Just kind of want to race the track, as we got a yellow on the racetrack. We'll see exactly who it is, and it might just be Glenn Bundren.
Yeah, he might have spun off of the corner there onto the apron. And that'll bring out yet another yellow, as we just passed 1/3 of the way through this race. So we still got a bit of ways to go, but that's once again going to stack up the field.
And actually, we're going to try to take a look here. And we saw the yellow flag come out around this time. And let's see, maybe of Glenn Bundren. And there he is. Around on the dogleg he goes. And then that was enough to trigger the yellow. I'm surprised it did because he was all the way down on the apron there. But you see him now. This is right here on the lap before. We'll take just about 15 seconds before. Here it is. Just right there off turn 2, just loose. And we saw that he had to chase it down to the dogleg the first time. He chases it once again, but this time not faring much better.
All right, well, that'll bring out another caution here. And once again, these guys are going to dive down pit road. We saw Am already take the race lead under the last yellow flag. We'll see if he does it again here. He just has one car to pass in order to make it happen. Also, Parker White, Nick Miller, Cole Williams, all those guys are scrunched up.
Yeah, all those guys will be out. You see James Youngman being the one driver staying out at the moment, but James Youngman currently sitting, well, he was on the, I believe he was a lap down, but I think he's back on the lead lap, so he will stay out. But nonetheless, we still got all the drivers in the zoo on pit road. Blaze McKinney will lead them all down once again, and we'll see who comes out first. We did see Mulrooney come at the front of this field. It did not last long on the restart. We saw Parker White get a spot on Nick Miller for third. At this time, they'll go for 4 tires and fuel, but Blaze McKinney might have the advantage, and he does. And Nick Miller, beautiful pit stop for that 88 machine, getting out in a 4th place.
And he will be, that'll give him at least a spot or two at the conclusion of that race off of pit road. So he has once again put himself in a decent spot to once again battle for the race lead and the championship. But once again, the one thing separating him from it is that number 2 car of A.M. Rooney.
And once again, we'll see Blaze and Aaron do battle, but Nick Miller back into the picture once again. That we saw him earlier in this race when we started this race at lap number 1. And from there on out, you see a couple drivers down pit road. That includes Shane D. Mantova, William Schmidt also there as well. Actually, I believe Shane went down pit road but just exited on the wrong opening slot. So I'm not sure what's happening there with the 20, but he's going to go around. James Youngman and William Schmidt are getting their damage. They are currently sitting at the rear of this field at the moment. William Schmidt currently sitting 4 laps down on the racetrack. James Youngman, luckily, I believe, still on the lead lap, so he will be back on the lead lap for this one. Got a question by Kurt67. He asked, is there a limit on tires? There is not, at least not for this season. Maybe next season we might see some rule changes down the road, but at least for this entire season, there are no tire limits on what iRacing has added recently within the past couple of months, where you can add tire set limits for races, but no tire set limits for this series. It is unlimited. The only thing limited at least would be faster pairs, which you only have 1. So in terms of tires, you can get as much tires as you want, and unlike real life, we don't have to pay for those tires, so it's all free.
Well, that's definitely a plus for the iRacing service, especially for those real life guys. And that's obviously one thing, a conversation to be brought up of how this helps real life racers. I know, just iRacing is a tool for these guys to go out and run some laps and not have to pay for it.
Well, yeah, that certainly is a great point, Charlie. And at least a lot of real life NASCAR drivers and real life racers from any discipline in motorsport. I know people like Lando Norris, an F1 driver. He also races iRacing. There's a lot of IndyCar drivers, lots of drivers from different disciplines that take their round on iRacing to get some practice, at least for the real life side of things. And even one of the drivers who are real life drivers take part in the sim regularly. Aaron Mulrooney being one of those drivers. A winner in the Legend cars, went 11 for 11 at his local speedway. Certainly one of the prominent real drivers in the real life side of things, but on the sim, he's still very strong. But regardless, we're going to go back to the green flag with Blaze McKinney at the head of this field once again. I saw Cole Williams just barely scrub the tires as he was getting loose and trying to get back up to speed. But we're going to be 1-2-3 SPG with Blaze at the front of the field off turn 2.
Blaze leading the way. Brady Wheelman into that top 5 spot, including a top 5 as of right now. Good run for him. Obviously, he brought out that first yellow flag on lap number 1. So, a good run for him, but also Cole Williams. Those two guys have raced with each other quite a bit in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, also on the KBueno Racing Network. But back up front, Parker White all over the back bumper of that number 88 car of Nick Miller, trying to advance his position. But I think if it stays this way, and Aaron Mulrooney stays if he still separates those guys from getting to the championship lead, I think that Blaze McKinney could just pull away and possibly win. I don't want to jinx him, as obviously that we've done that before on the KBueno Racing Network, but I think if Blaze McKinney just keeps doing what he's doing, he could definitely close it out.
And I'll tell you, from what I'm seeing on this recent restart, Charlie, is not as much separation that we saw in the opening laps, or the opening restarts at least. We did see a lot of breakaways between certain groups of drivers. Most notably, we saw this top 4 all the way by themselves at the head of this field, and then we saw drivers at least 5th on back start to separate within themselves, maybe some duos and some tandems around there, but not as much battling on the racetrack between those guys. But a very different situation at hand, as now we have a 4-car group split into 2. Blaze McKinney and Aaron Maroney start at the front of this field, and now they'll stay up there as Parker White and Nick Miller have to fend for 3rd and 4th.
And it can really get frustrating once, especially Nick Miller, who kind of fell back over just one green flag run ago. It can be frustrating if you know you're faster than someone, and maybe Parker White maybe thinks he's faster, but he's getting a little impatient there as they are now falling back quite a bit, just 3 car lengths behind that number 2 car. So I think Parker White definitely wants to take the initiative as he's doing right now, trying to go lower, at least try to give him a bumper, just to say, hey, I think I'm faster than you. I think I can go past these guys. Obviously, Nick Miller sliding up off the corner.
And that's probably something Parker White has been thinking the past couple of laps. So when can I get around you? It's something that happens a lot within sim racing, or at least in real racing as well, and just racing in general. Is just when you know you're faster than a guy right in front of you, you want to try and get by them, but at tracks like these or at some different tracks, you may not have the lane at least preferable. You see all these drivers sticking to that yellow line in 3 and 4 and in 1 and 2. The bottom seems to be the best, and if you're the driver right behind the driver, you're going to be using the same lane. So you want to get by them, but you don't really want to send their bumper and possibly turn them around or do anything else to upset them or possibly create some drama down the road. But you want to get by, and then you're certainly waiting to get that opportunity. And it's frustrating at times, Charlie, when you're trying to get by somebody, you're faster than them, you can catch up to the leaders, but then you got one person right in front of you, and you're faster than them at the moment. You're trying to get around them. It's a frustrating task, but luckily he had that opportunity to get by, that door opened, and he got by through.
And he invents a position to 2nd up in the playoff standings as of right now. Maybe the same situation could be happening with that 2-car Maroney. Looking to the inside for the race lead, but Blaze McKinney's going to shut the door as of right now. But Parker White, what he wants to see is that number 2 car at least passing him, or at least just getting to the inside, because when you're side by side, you lose time. So Parker White is really focusing on that. He's trying to at least hope for the possibility of that happening so he can get up. And all he needs to do, he doesn't need to get up there and lead the race and win. All he has to do is finish in front of that 87 car. So Aaron can go take the lead, and that'll just leave them to fight it out.
And you got to think, if you're Parker White, it was your dream situation to be right on the outside of that 87 on one of those last restarts where Blaze McKinney fell back through the grid, and that allowed Maroney to take the lead. Unfortunately, it did not last long because Blaze McKinney got back to the race lead, and that put that separation of Maroney in between the battle for the championship for 1st and 2nd. So it's still the same right now for Parker White, and it has not been successful for Maroney to get by his teammate. I'm not sure whether his strategy is to just stay behind at the moment, Charlie, or just try to make the pass now, or he's been trying the past couple of times, but also tire usage can also play a factor. We really haven't seen a long enough run for drivers to go down pit road under the green flag conditions. But when you're talking about Aaron Maroney and tires usage, he's one of the drivers who's better at it, but maybe you think he's probably saving rather than just trying to get by.
Yeah, definitely, especially if you're going to get that long green flag run. We have officially passed halfway here in this race for the finale of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series season number 2. Blaze McKinney will lead that halfway, led the most laps so far, and I believe in just a few laps, contact right behind there, Brianna Lavin around.
Brianna Lavin into the outside wall. William Schmidt had to duck low, and a yellow flag out on lap number 76, and it caused the yellow out once again. I see some damage on the 08, but it was mostly the incident between the 02 and the 055. I believe 2 teammates getting into contact is now Josh Patterson, I think, was looking down pit road. I thought the better of it did not go down there, but a yellow flag once again, revolving around the Basin Racing cars of Brianna Lavin. This is off turn 2. I believe actually this is not the lap just yet, but I think right there you saw a little wobble, and I think it was the next time by where they had that issue. We're gonna take another look, and this was coming off of the corner. I'm not sure whether this was the lap actually. This is it. Actually, here it might be. We're gonna look back to Brianna Lavin in the 055. There it is around. We'll take another look. Here is going into turn 1 and 2. The 02 was loose off turn 4. But then coming into turn 2, here's where the calamity starts.
Yeah, just contact between those guys. Those teammates got into each other. William Schmidt just barely avoids that one as he hits the gas right there. Brianna Lavin does. And Glenn Bundren also had to take evasive action in order to miss that one as well. But wow, wow. He had to spin it out in order to not hit the wall, but Glenn Bundren obviously screaming on by.
And they are all down pit road, and once again another short stint, just squabbled by that yellow flag, but this time it's Aaron Maroney that gets the best of it. The situation that Parker White has been wanting, and he's got it once again. Blaze McKinney, actually no, he actually got the advantage of Maroney off there. I'm not sure whether they reached the line in time.
I think Aaron Maroney may have suffered a speeding penalty there.
Oh man, oh that is tough right there.
That's not confirmed yet, but no, I don't think he did. I think Blaze McKinney just edged him out.
Yeah, I think it was just a situation, just very tough down the line. Yeah, actually,
I
confused
heard
there.
Aaron over the radio was all upset. I wasn't sure if that was because he beat him out or he may have gotten a speeding penalty, but it has been confirmed that Blaze just beat him out. So that's not what Parker wanted to see. Us, he wants it just to be between him and Blaze, but now he still has to get by that number 2 car, and it could happen on this restart because Aaron will be starting on the outside and Parker will be starting on the inside.
And that'll certainly be the case. There's William Schmidt, who's currently a couple laps down, and the frustration coming from the 2 car because he has been wanting that lead the past all those green flag runs. Actually, he's just been trying to get by, and he has yet to be successful. He got by on that pit road stop that one time, but then he lost the lead as soon as the restart came by, and then he now wanted to do that again, had the shot at it, but just that little distance between the little front bumpers of the 87 and the 2 enabled the 87 to get by and take back the race lead. So he will be leading all the field back to the green flag, and he's done it so well. Charlie, I think if you're the leader right now, is this the point where you're at the catbird seat and you really start to feel more pressure now that the race is starting to close down?
Yeah, definitely. We just reached the halfway point, as I mentioned, at the 76th lap mark. So Blaze McKinney just one more half of the race to try and close it out. Led the most laps so far, and he did seal that bonus point up. I'm not actually sure if they're going to count bonus points. Can you confirm that?
I believe they are. This is remember, they have points for most laps led. They have points for certain things. I believe it's mostly just most laps led. So it's going to be down to some of the drivers there. But I don't think in the championship, I don't think that really matters. I think it's more within drivers like Aaron Maroney, drivers like Cole Williams, just drivers who aren't in the playoffs entirely, drivers who can gain points and gain spots on other non-playoff drivers when they're able to. But in terms of just playoff racing and the championship, it's just going to be who finishes first, and we'll continue to see whether that develops even further. We're back green to lap number 80. Blaze McKinney with another lightning start. Maroney will have to fend off Parker White and Cole Williams, and down for 3rd and 4th.
Green flag back out at Phoenix International Raceway. Nick Miller trying to get to the inside of that 95 of Parker White, but Blaze McKinney still continues to dominate this race. But also not too far behind is that 2 car. And that's it. And if this goes green until the end, this is Nick Miller and Parker White's time to try to get that run with those fresh tires. Obviously, you want to maintain those tires if we're going to get that long green flag up. But now's the time to go. Now's the time to advance your position and try to get up there towards the end of this.
Yeah, Parker White's still sitting 3rd. You've got single file pretty much all the way back to where J.J. Hill is, and the likes of Josh Patterson sitting 8th, so he is going to take that spot away from J.J. Hill in the 08 and to try to get back to the 00. We've seen that 02 get so loose off practically every corner on this racetrack. Had a little bit of struggles throughout this race, but Meanwhile, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4. The top 3 sitting in the championship right now. But don't look any further. Glenn Bundren is just back there as well, although he's under pressure from Brady Williman right now.
Yeah, Glenn just struggling to get back up, trying to claw himself back up into the top 5 like he was earlier. Stuck behind a whole gaggle of cars. That's J.J. Hill, Trey Shuttlesworth, Brady Wheelman, all those guys. He just needs to get by him. They could try to advance the position as J.J. Hill almost makes contact with him.
Glenn Bundren's going to fall back to at least the latter half of this top 10, maybe out of this top 10, and it is now a 3-car breakaway with a little bit of a 1-car action between Miller and Cole Williams. They're working by themselves right now, and I see the 2 getting loose, and the 95 as well. You can tell they're just trying to push their race cars to get in front of that 87, but it has been tough. It has really been harder than it really looks for a lot of these drivers. Amir Rooney tries to dive low. Might not try to use the dog leg because you're going to be using up your tires more that way. So I know they're not thinking of that right now, but it has just been single file all the way through. You got to think that the 2 cars behind them, they're sick of seeing that bumper of Crystal Lake Designs. They want to get by now.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, but I know Aaron Murray does have a bit of respect for his teammate, especially ahead of him, that's running for a championship. He doesn't want to make that aggressive move down to the inside or like kind of a bonsai move. So obviously, with all due respect to these playoff drivers, he is in the way of Parker White. But these guys are here to race. They're not here to move out of the way of these championship contenders. So I think, Aaron is doing the right thing.
And Aaron just sticking by, and we just reached the halfway point of 150 laps at lap number 75, or just a little bit over, but nonetheless, it's still a good time to go through the field. And we'll start with your race leader. Blaze McKinney right now currently sitting on the race lead. He's led 83 laps tonight, pretty much this entire race through, and he has really not let off the gas pedal. We talked in an interview just shortly before the race, and he said he wanted to qualify well, put himself in a good spot, and move from there. Well, he has been moving awfully smooth this entire race, and he's done a great job right now. If the race were to end right now with him in the lead, he would be the champion, looking for his first championship in the Bundren Lawn Care Series.
We are starting to see that gap trying to open up here between the 87 and the number 2 car. That's also allowing Parker White to close in on that back bumper. Oh, are we going through the field right now?
Yes, sir, we are.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's currently sitting second. Aaron Mulrooney raced with us a couple times this season and obviously took that win at Auto Club. And after a dominating performance and a fantastic finish there, he is currently sitting second right now. Been there the entire race. He is not advancing position at all to the race lead just yet, besides under the yellow flag, but under a lot of pressure from that 95 car. Kenneth, you got him?
Close but no cigar. Close but no cigar seems to be the phrase to describe that 95 of Parker White, and consistency has been there. Closing out has not, and we got a yellow flag as soon as that happens, but Parker White still has yet to lead a lap. He started second, has fallen back to third, but he's trying to look for his first championship in the Bundren Lawn Care Series, as we're going to try to take a look at exactly what happened with that yellow flag. And we'll just try to take a replay and see exactly what went down here. I'm not sure which driver this was, actually, but we'll take a further look here, and don't really see any cars going around for the most part. Actually, there is one car, and it seems to be the 88 of Nick Miller in trouble. He has damage, and he went around on the racetrack. We'll take another look. This is going into the dog leg right in front of Cole Williams, and he just got loose under the dog leg, and around he went with damage. Tough break for a championship contender at the moment.
Wow. We're just seeing a replay here for the first time. It looks like he just tried to dive into the dog. He was currently sitting fourth right here, third in the championship standings. Right, ever try to dive into the... Wow, that's absurd, honestly. He didn't really try to dive it in there. He just kind of stepped out from under him. But currently in the pit road right now, trying to get his fast repair and get back out there.
I'm sorry. That was a very odd situation for the 88 and Nick Miller, but while they were down pit road, Aaron Maroney, I believe, just took 2 tires on that stop, and he easily gets by to the race lead. No more playing bridesmaid. He is now up to the first spot off of pit road. McKinney will have to settle for second for now. Parker White will be third. Cole Williams fourth. And out this top 5, Brady Weileman in the 0-0. But, oh man, Charlie, just how quickly things can happen. We had a yellow flag. Probably was expecting somebody else, but it happened to be a championship driver.
And we saw him go to the back earlier when he took those optional repairs. So, wow, that's... I don't know what to say about that one, but he does have, once again, a full plate here to try and carve his way back up to the front. We saw him do it once, got all the way up to third, but now he's going to have to do it once again with we're going to restart with almost 55 laps to go in this race and the finale of Season 2 of iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series. We're going to see just how it all plays out for that 88 car. He's going to have to play his cards perfectly in order to get back up, but it's definitely going to be a challenge.
It's going to be a challenge for sure. Nick Miller right now on the grid, currently sitting 9th. I think the best thing about him, his situation right now, is he's still in front of Glenn Bundren, surprisingly. He got that fast repair, I believe, and you see that clean race car, so surely have gotten that fast repair on that Toyota Camry, and he's still in front of championship rival Glenn Bundren, so he will be third right now in the championship standings at the moment, and so he will continue to be there. I believe he just got an EL might have gotten a penalty down the road, so he's letting everyone by. So actually, no, he won't be in front of Glenn Bundren anymore. He will have to fight all the way back from the back of this field, and speaking of which, I believe we just got the 1 to green signal, and we do. So that means we'll be back green very, very soon. Between the drivers there, I see a lot of drivers moving around. Probably just waiting for Blaze to get back up to row 1. Got a question by Scott Yost. He asks, do you have your own league, or do you only announce other leagues? Well, we don't have a league of our own, but we do commentate these leagues. Glenn and I are very good friends, and we're great friends with Glenn Bundren, so we decided to commentate this series and go through this entire season. But we do also cover the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, and most recently, we'll be acquiring the TRL Esports Racing League with the NASCAR trucks. So that'll be a lot of fun. Coming to you Sunday nights, we'll be providing the broadcast for that right here on the KBueno Racing Network. But back to business in the Bundren Lawn Care Series. Aaron Maroney will be back at the front of this pack, and the green flag back on lap number 95. And we will be back under green. Once again, Blaze McKinney and Parker White might have to fight for second and third.
All right, well, this is the game change that we've been waiting to see here. This is an opportunity for Parker White to finally get up to that back bumper of that 87 car, but that 2 car is on cold. Just 2 tires here, but to the inside goes Parker White. Will he make it work? To the inside, Blaze McKinney not going to shut the door. Will he use that outside momentum to try to take back that second spot? He will. Parker White will move back in line there. So just this is Parker White's opportunity to get to that championship lead.
Yeah, and he's got to really rely on that 2 car to stay at the front of this field. Remember, they are teammates of 2 in the 87, but you really don't want to cut your teammates slack, especially if you want to win this race. You want to capture a checkered flag. So the 95 of Parker White trying to play right to the back bumper. You can tell he is quick, and he's loose also off of turn 4. You have to wheel that race car back. That's going to lose him a little bit of time. Maybe we'll allow the 42 of Cole Williams to get by, who was a winner here at this very racetrack in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series and beat that 87 of Blaze McKinney. Right now sitting in this top 5. He's been there all race long. We got to try to get back over to the 95 of Parker White.
Also right behind the number 42 is Josh Patterson. We've seen him kind of in and out of the top 5 throughout this race so far, and obviously made contact with the 055 Brianna 11. That brought out the caution just a few runs ago here, but Parker White has not let go of that number 87's bumper, and number 8, Blaze McKinney is in dirty air right now, so that could play a factor in slumming down. Here comes Parker White to the inside.
Parker White using that dog leg to go all the way down to the yellow line. He's still trying to get to the inside of Blaze McKinney and get by, but that outside groove is working for the 87 at the moment. They're still side by side, and that'll probably allow your race leader, Aaron Maroney, at the moment to get a little bit of leeway. And now that he's in fresh air, probably the best sight for that 2 car, the 95 and the 87, going to chase them down to dog leg. Still side by side as they go into 3 and 4.
Parker White just trying to get clear, and once you get clear, you can focus on running away with that race lead. And new championship leader, the number 95 of Parker White, to the championship lead, and he has just put himself in a position to win it all. But here comes Blaze McKinney right back down to the inside.
It is not easy, like I say. When you run for a championship, you got to fight all these drivers, especially one of the drivers that's best at this track. And right now, McKinney is still trying to look down. He may try to make the crossover. The 95 going to try to contend to the outside. He might just have the run, and I think he will. And McKinney will try to file back behind, hit the reset button, and try it one more time. But in turn, allowing drivers like Cole Williams and the 02 of Josh Patterson to file back in this group. So 5 cars now instead of the typical 3 and 4.
And this race just changed under that caution with Aaron Mulroney taking those 2 cars. That allowed Parker White to make that move. That's what I was talking about throughout this run. If Aaron Mulroney can just take the lead, Parker White could take advantage of that and get to the championship lead. Now currently a car length ahead of that 87. This race just got flipped upside down. 50 laps to go in the Season 2 of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series. And now Parker White's going to focus on getting by the 2 car if Aaron Mulroney, who's also on 2 tires.
Remember, Aaron Mulroney had a 9-second pit stop coming out of pit road. That's what allowed the gap between himself and the rest of these guys. I believe 2 tires was the call for that 2 machine, and it was working out because he got by the 87, and he's been able to stay through. So that 2 of Aaron Mulroney, especially on that 2-tire call, he's been holding his ground. Phenomenal effort for that 2 machine to stay up front with those 2 tires as opposed to the rest of the drivers taking 4. But I think right now, Charlie, it is starting to catch up to him on those 2 tires, just not as good on the grip between the 2 tires and the 4 tires that the 95 and everyone behind them took. So the 95 is now to the back bumper, may try to go for the race lead, although he's taking the championship lead over.
All right, well, we have now moved ourselves into the closing stages of this race. Just one more third of the allotted lap time to go here. Parker White up to the championship lead, and if I'm Blaze McKinney, I'm just focusing on saving my tires right now because Parker White really was aggressive in trying to get by, and he may have used up a bit of tire wear there. And we got a caution out of the racetrack. This changes everything once again.
Oh, man, roughly timed yellow there. That 95 was surely not wanting to see that. And the yellow flag once again on lap number 104. And we'll see exactly who might have been involved in this one. We'll take a seat. It looks to be Glenn Bundren, I think, all the way to the back of this field, sitting 12th right now. And I don't think we see any relatively slower cars on the racetrack right now, apart from maybe William Schmidt, J.J. Hill. But we'll take a replay and see exactly what might have happened between those drivers there. And actually, Glenn Bundren was stopped on the racetrack. I'm not sure what really happened there. We'll take another look, and this is going into 1 and 2, Charlie. It just went around. This car got the better of him.
And trying to save that race car, and eventually just loops it off of turn number 2 there. And I believe this is the second time that Glenn Bundren has caused a yellow here. And wow, and this is going to help Blaze McKinney a ton.
When he is still struggling with that race car, but meanwhile, everyone will go down pit road. And it's been the same call all race long for everyone to just follow the leader. Monkey see, monkey do, all the way down to pit road. So once again, pit lane is going to be full of busyness at the moment with Mulroney at the head of this field. Everyone going to stop for pit stops, and we'll see how that just fares out. At the moment, there goes everyone down. The 3 of those championship, and the 95 actually overshot that pit stall, so that might lose him a little bit of time.
We're going to see how this plays out here. This could be the money stop if we do go green to the end. Nick Miller, 2 tires out in front, and Parker White is going to suffer.
What a call for the 88. Went from spinning and now to first on that 2-tire stop, and he's got a clean race car to couple with it. So that strategy playing magic for that 88 at the moment. He's going to be in first. You see William Schmidt there. He's currently a couple laps down, but that was the money stop that put that 88 into the race lead. But not only does the 88 have to contend and stay up for the race lead, he's going to have to fight for that because Blaze McKinney is now here. He's now into second. He will be on the outside of row 1. We'll see if he's able to hang on for second. Aaron Mulroney, a fellow teammate. All 3 SPG drivers lining 1, 2, 3. Well, the driver who got the worst from that and the short end of the stick, Parker White, with that little mishap on pit road, will fall to 6 on the restart. He's got a lot of work to do to get back up front.
This really was a game changer for these guys. And, you know, Nick Miller, we saw Aaron Mulrooney be able to stick it up there and maintain the race lead with 2 tires, but obviously Nick Miller has more time and more wear on his left side tires, so I don't think it's going to stay out there as long as Aaron Mulrooney did, but he's certainly going to fight for it. If you know Nick Miller, if you've raced him before, you know he is a strategist. He loves trying to pull short pitting strategies and just trying to get himself in a better position, no matter how good or bad his race is. And obviously, in our Discord channel, showed a bit of upset for the track choice here and showed his dislike, but currently sitting out front with 2 fresh tires against a bunch of guys with 4 tires.
108 laps behind us. Still got just about 43 or 42 laps to go before we crown a champion here at Phoenix Raceway. So row 1 will look like this. Nick Miller, Blaze McKinney, row 1. 2 championship drivers sitting 1 and 2 in the championship standings. Aaron Mulrooney and Josh Patterson will line up row 2. There'll be a 1 row filled with non-playoff drivers, and then you have to look back to row 3 to find another playoff driver in sight. Brady Weileman sitting on the inside of row 3. Parker White, meanwhile, will have to contend on the outside and try to get back up. But he's got a lot of drivers behind that could possibly peek that inside, most notably Brandon Lavin, the awaited J.J. Hill. Glenn Bundren, after that spin, is all the way back in 13th. We're going to take a green flag on a restart. Very stacked up the field is. And there goes the 88 Miller. The 87 of McKinney will follow suit, so easy job. But now they're going to work into 1 and 2. How will Parker White fare with these drivers up front?
Nick Miller all over the back bumper. Blaze McKinney all over the back bumper of Nick Miller. Almost contact between them. Will he use the bumper into turn number 3? Blaze McKinney just using those fresh 4 tires to his advantage. It's 2 against 4 right now. And we're just going to have to see how this stacks, especially on the long run. Parker White all the way up to 4th place already.
Parker White had a lot of ground to gain. You're looking at the onboard camera with the back bumper of the 88, and you see how close they've been since the restart. It has been all that way for pretty much most of this race, but it has been very tough for pretty much the leader to stay within a second. Really hard for the leader to gain any time on anyone up front, and Miller right now doing a good job of handling that in first place, but McKinney's still there. Mulrooney now in this picture. The only driver that the 95 has to get by is Mulrooney in the 2 car to get up to this championship fight. But right now, Miller went all the way from last in the championship standings to first. It did a little loose off turn 2 into the dog leg.
And we're seeing how uneven those 2 right side tires versus the old left side tires are. You see him loose off of the corner here and trying to correct this car in turn number 3. But Blaze McKinney trying to take back the championship race lead here. Nick Miller once again back it off, stepping out off of the corner. So is Parker White. But new championship leader once again. We see that 87 out front. Parker White is not too far behind.
Yeah, Parker White, one of the drivers to call on 4 tires. He's going to try to get around Nick Miller the best he can, but he has to fend off the 0-2 of Patterson before doing it. You see Patterson all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to shoot up just in time, though, that he won't hit the 95. But he's able to clear himself, so Parker White into 4th. Going to try to take over 2nd as Brandon Lavin is around on the front straightaway. I'm not sure whether they're able to save it. No, they won't. Caution is out once again. James Youngerman and Shane DiMantova also involved.
Trey Shuttlesworth also got caught up in that. And a big wreck on the front straight. That's probably the biggest wreck we've seen all night here. And wow, another late race caution. That's going to give these guys either an opportunity to go down pure road or stay out on the racetrack.
So here's a look at the replay. You see the 055 of Brandon Lavin. This is in turn 3 and 4. We just talked about how Josh Patterson and Brady Weileman were there, but the 055 just got loose off the corner. I thought it might have been some help there between the 19 of Trey Shuttlesworth, but it was not. And the 48 tags in. That's James Youngerman. The 20 of Shane DiMantova had the worst of it. Just tried to split the middle. That was not enough room. William Schmidt once again able to get by. J.J. Hill. Oh, so close with the 20 trying to whip it back around. We'll take another look. There's the 055 there. And then Shane DiMantova just right there at that moment. Bam. Just not really much to much to go, actually.
All right, well, we see how the leaders diving down on the pit road here, and we're going to see how this all shakes out as they come out onto the exit. Another opportunity to make or break your race, really. And now Nick Miller can come down and get 4 fresh tires, so now he's equal with these guys. as he took 2 tires on that run. He's going to sit currently 3rd as of right now. But like we saw last time with Parker White, it can break your race, or at least your run for the time being, as he had to back up there. But we're going to have to see. Looks like everyone makes it in on time.
Don't think there'll be no mistakes on pit road this time by, so Parker White will probably be able to get all that time back. Mulrooney will be out first. Parker White out second. McKinney and Miller will fall back. Lots of positions, and now in the mix with a lot of drivers. Brady Wallerman, Cole Williams were able to get out front, so the 87 and 88 now split between one car. And guess what? Glenn Bundren Jr. is staying out, but I think he is a lap down, so I'm not sure whether he's just staying out to go down pit road or to get his lap back, but I think, Charlie, that he stayed out just to stay out, so maybe he will be in the lead of this race, and we'll have a huge championship battle with a lot of non-playoff drivers mixed in as well.
Wow. That's all I got to say.
Unbelievable.
As Parker White got the jump, and Parker White is currently 2 spots ahead of the other playoff drivers behind him, and Glenn Bundren obviously on old tires. So the front row is going to be the 37 and the 2 car, but then on the inside is going to be Parker White. I would not put it out of the picture that he makes a 3-wide move into turn number 1 to try to take the race lead. But, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and just to confirm, Glenn Bundren is out on old tires, and he is not a lap down. So he stayed out just to stay out on the final stint of this race, and probably hoping for another quick yellow and possibly to go down pit road once again. Maybe try something different, or maybe he can hang on with those old tires, but it's going to be very hard to do. And when you have all those old tires and you ran down those tires already, you have to face off the drivers on the fresh rubber. It's not as easy as it looks, or as it sounds. And Glenn Bundren is going to have a lot on his plate in order to stay at the front of this championship. But really, Charlie, if you can't really blame the 37 for making this move. He really hasn't been up here all race long. I think if you're going to make the decision to go up front and make a risky move for the championship, this might be it.
All right, so we're going to go green with about 43, 44 laps to go in this race. So once again, we are in the closing stages of this one. Or sorry, the 34 or 35 laps to go here when we go green. So wow, this has shaken up a lot from the number ones that we've been getting. The top 5 at least has shaken up a ton as we see Glenn Bundren and Mulrooney out on the race leaders. So this is going to be nuts. So that's all I can tell you.
It is going to be crazy, and that's probably not the best word to describe it. There's probably something else to describe it. It's an understatement to say it's crazy, but pace car is down pit road. We are back under green. Glenn Bundren will be at the front of this field, and he's managed it so far. Going to go into turn 1. Parker White's going to look down for second under Mulrooney. I'm not sure whether he'll have enough space. He's going to use the dog leg. Now Blaze McKinney and Nick Miller are back in this fight.
Blaze McKinney trying to go up the middle here, but does not get the position as of right now. Glenn Bundren moving up the racetrack quite a bit. Parker White has the opportunity to try to take over the situation, maybe try to get to the championship lead. Here comes Mulrooney out the outside.
Mulrooney to the outside. Parker White under. I'm not sure if there's enough space down there. He's going to have to give the 37 a tap, probably holding him up a little bit too much. Maybe this allows the 87 to get by. Now the 95 is going to peek his nose under. Mulrooney to the race lead. But for the championship, it's Bundren and Parker White. Parker White down to the bottom of the racetrack. He will lead the standings off turn 4.
And Parker White is in the position to win this race. Those 4 guys are all right next to each other in the positions here. Blaze McKinney down to the inside. He's going to try to make a charge, but Parker White is your championship leader. The closer himself of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series is in position to win it all in season number 2 without even winning a race so far. So he's going to work on trying to capitalize on this situation and maybe go for a race win. But Blaze McKinney has a fast race car on 4 tires behind him. Will he catch up to him? That's the question.
Parker White is going to have a mirror full of that 87 and possibly thinking of what move he could make. But probably that 95 is thinking more about taking this race lead because it'll bring a pick between the 2 championship drivers. And Parker White will be at the race lead. Mulrooney will have to fight with the 87 for the 87 to get by and try to take over this championship lead once again. Miller down to the bottom as well. There's a gaggle of cars behind that 88. in terms of Cole Williams, Josh Patterson. Glenn Bundren has fallen back on the old tires to 7th. And he might fall to the clutches of the 00. Still yet to be determined, as they're still 1-2. Parker White, though, catching up to the race leader. Will he have a shot to make a move into 3 and 4?
We're going to have to see. And all over the back bumper of him. And currently in the championship leader. Has a bit of a cushion right here, but he wants to maximize on the situation and go out for a race win and try to get his first race win of the season here. And that gap is growing from 2nd to 3rd. So, wow, a win this season so far could end up in a championship. He could do what Ryan Newman couldn't do in 2014. He almost won the championship, but just came up short. So Parker White just all over that bumper. Will he use that bumper if it comes down to it? And if it comes down to a race win, his first of the season, here it comes at the inside.
Boy, he was working on that too every single lap until this point. He probably did not have enough space. He just filed back in behind. But at the same time, if you're that 95, you don't want to waste your tires or waste your equipment trying to get by the 2 because Aaron Maroney's not a playoff driver. So if you let Aaron Maroney take a race win, it won't be the biggest deal in the world because you won't be a race winner, but you'll be a champion. And that means way more than taking a checkered flag. Of course, that 95 wants to still take that checkered flag away because he's yet to win a race this season like you mentioned. But to take that championship, it's probably the best decision just to hang with this 2 car. But it is tough for that 95 to stay put because he is on the back bumper, still feasibly trying to get by at the moment.
And you know what Aaron Maroney is? He's the teammate of the car right behind Parker White and also battling him for the championship. So will Aaron Maroney try to be a roadblock on this 95 car as the 95 is struggling to get by him, and that is allowing Blaze McKinney to catch up. 25 laps to go in the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series Season 2 finale, and Parker White has now resorted to using that bumper. We've seen him multiple times in the last couple laps trying to get under him, and here he comes for the race lead. Will Parker White do it?
Parker White's got enough space to make to the door of Aaron Maroney. They'll be side by side, almost contact between the 2 Toyota Camrys. But guess what? That'll allow the 87 to gain more ground, and he does. But the 95 still sticking. Not sure whether he's going to be clear. He will not. Going into turn 1, Parker is loose. Into turn 1, almost contact between him and the 87. But now Blaze McKinney's going to get by, and Aaron Maroney is in clean air.
Now this championship battle just closed down to 0. Here comes Blaze McKinney down to the inside. Also Cole Williams getting a lot of time past that number 88 car. And now this is going to be the battle for the championship if this race stays green. Parker White still clear of that number 87 Chevrolet Camaro.
Oh.
Also Parker White loose once again. Caution's out of the racetrack.
Caution out. We'll take a look to see who that might be. And it's Brady Weileman in the 00. He is around on the front straightaway. And a caution on lap 128 to 150 as the 2 playoff drivers are running for the championship. We're fighting 2nd and 3rd. We'll take a replay. See exactly what happened here with that 00. And I think it was just a situation of him going around. We'll see. This is the look off of turn 4. And just all by himself, no help whatsoever. Just the car gets up from under him. And he's around on the front straightaway. And caution out once again on lap number 129 with just about 20 laps to go. Unbelievable development. Here's another look there. This is from the blimp cam. This is coming in at 3 and 4. And just right there at the moment, you see the 00 just go around here, and that'll be it, at least for the moment. But we're going to see him now, and possibly drivers down pit road, I'm smelling, and it is there. You see the 2 of Aaron Maroney, the 95 of Parker White. Luckily got that caution in time because he was probably going to lose that spot to Blaze McKinney. A good lucky break for that 95, but he's got a chance to get it all back down pit road. Pit lane is open. Everybody's down. Parker White and Aaron Maroney, Nick Miller are part of the championship 4. Glenn Bundren still yet to pick up any ground. Can this be the moment? Off of pit road. Cole Williams might have it. I think Parker White might have got it off of pit road. And he actually does not. Cole Williams wins the race off pit road What a pit stop for that number 42 Coca-Cola Chevrolet Camaro. Unbelievable pit stop. Will put him in the race lead for the first time this evening. Boy, what a run for that Eel Media Racing driver to get up to this race lead. But even better news for Parker White. He will be second, and Maroney will be on the outside. But Blaze McKinney might be looking to the inside at least behind. It's going to still be the championship battle, and Nick Miller is also going to re-rack.
Wow, that was a flawless pit stop for that number 42 car, and we saw him win at this exact racetrack. We also saw him win at this exact racetrack in the LWRC Cup Series, obviously against Blaze McKinney, and it came down to that final corner between them. But wow, look, that is insane right there. And sometimes, yeah, you can see the pit stop. He didn't get the fastest stop, but it also depends on your entry and your exit, and he absolutely nailed that, and that got him out to the race lead.
I remember he was also gaining spots before that yellow flag came out. He was up to the back of the bumper of the 87 right before it came out, so he really didn't. He was gaining ground on the way there, and I think this completes the entire journey up to the front of this field because now he's succeeded. And remember, over the long run, we really haven't talked about him, but that 42 was gaining ground. Over the long run, he's been stellar in his driving ability. His car has been comfortable. He's been clean throughout this entire race, and he gained ground on a lot of other drivers. He picked up positions ever since, and that has now allowed him to be at the front of this field. And now he's leading the first laps that he's led all night long. He started in 5th, and he's gained 4 spots since then, but what a drive, or what a pit stop down pit road for that 42 at Eel Media Racing machine. This, in turn, though, will allow the 2 championship drivers to be on the outside, but that 3rd and 4th car in the standings, Miller and Bundren, will be on the inside, a couple rows deep.
This is not the first time we've seen Cole Williams out in front late in the race. We saw him do the same thing at Auto Club on pit strategy. Well, we're going to come to the green flag. We're going to get 18 laps to go left in season number 2. And it is definitely going to be a shootout between these guys. Parker White leading the championship standings in 2nd. Blaze McKinney 4th. Nick Miller 5th. And Glenn Bundren is 7th. Green flag is out. Final stretch of the race. Who will take it home?
We'll see who does. Parker White got a beautiful jump on the 2 of Aaron Mulrooney. There's contact. The 95 is around. Mulrooney got into him. Caution is out once again. The championship contender in Parker White is sent around into turn 1 by SPG driver Aaron Mulrooney. We'll take a replay and see exactly what happened, but more drama now between all the championship drivers.
No worries about that one. Wow. It looks like it just ended the first corner. Aaron Mulrooney just sends him around up the racetrack. Made contact with Blaze McKinney as well. And Parker White's championship hopes could have just gone up in smoke, quite literally, in turn number 1. Wow, I honestly have no words about that one.
This is the shot right there. There's Aaron Mulrooney giving the tap. You hear the contact, and you see around he goes. More contact there. Trace Shuttlesworth got in it late. I think J.J. Hill might have also had a piece of that as well. But Parker White's, the heartbreak ensues for that 95. Dramatic entrance into turn 1 and exit. Did not look the same. Cole Williams will still be at the head of this field, but at this point now, it's a battle between the 87, the 88, and Glenn Bundren. Parker White will probably be able to use his faster pair, so at least that will probably be the best of it. But now, with just about 15 laps to go, there's not much time left.
Wow. I'm shocked at that one. I think it's Aaron Mulrooney, all these guys are racing their own races, and I respect that. Everyone's, you don't really have to make way for those playoff drivers, but I just think Aaron Mulrooney really did put the bumper to the back of the 95 and spun him out there. So, obviously, justifications can go either way, but I definitely think that the short end of the stick was that 95 of Parker White, and that could possibly cost him the championship from the race lead.
And to think the great start and the great run he's had this entire race for that 95 team, and just all top 5 throughout there. I mean, he's still got time to get back up to this the top 5, but it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. And he's got to get by a lot of drivers to do it. So in turn, he could lose his equipment just trying to get by. And unfortunate run for Parker White there in the 95. You see him currently sitting 11th. He has yet to hit pit road, though. I'm not sure whether pit road is open for him just yet or whether he has not decided to get his damage fixed, because he is still running out on the racetrack, Charlie. Maybe that damage might not affect him as much as it looks to be on the cosmetic part of the racetrack. But wow. So 136 laps completed out of the 150 schedule. We're just about reaching 14 laps to go until we crown a Bundren Lawn Care Series championship. But come to think of it, now that I'm looking at some of these drivers, Blaze McKinney has damage on the left front. I'm not sure whether that was contact with his teammate, since he was trying to work him to the outside, maybe trying to pinch him to the bottom. Maybe some damage there for the 87. We'll see if that develops into something more serious, or if that affects his run from here on out. He's still got a kind of a beat-up race car, but the SPG teammates of Maroney and Miller are there standby. And I know Maroney is kind of on a split situation, Charlie, where he's got 2 teammates in the championship 4, so if he tries to help McKinney, it's not going to be fair to Miller, but he's going to try maybe and help Miller, and it won't be as easy for the 87, so you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place there for Aaron Maroney. I'm sure he's probably undecided about what to do at the moment, but I think he's going to just try to go for this race win, but it's going to be hard. Well, the playoff driver and a teammate right in front of you. Well, meanwhile, we had the caution with just in between those 5 laps, so we're going to take a single file restart. Pace car is off. Green flag is back out. Maybe the final stint of this race. Cole Williams out in front. McKinney will have to work for second, currently in the championship standings in first.
And Cole Williams looking for his first iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series win. Took the win here in the LWRC Cup Series over the guy that's sitting right behind him, Blaze McKinney. So Parker White looking to close the season out. Or sorry, Cole Williams, I'm sorry. Looking to close the season out with a race win here. That would mean a lot to him and his team, Media Racing. Just 5 car lengths ahead out in front, but the championship battle still is handed to Blaze McKinney as of right now, but Nick Miller still not too far behind us. Oh, those guys are loose off the corner.
It is looking 1, 2, 3, McKinney, Miller, and Bundren. Parker White will be behind in 7th, and he's gained ground ever since. Maybe some drivers let him by along the way. He's going to have to try and chase down fellow Media Racing driver JJ Hill up in this top 6. But meanwhile, Cole Williams at the head of this field. The first time we've seen him up here all night long, and with just about 11 laps to go, he's in command, and he's gapped the rest of the field.
Parker White currently sitting 7th, sitting behind J.J. Hill and Glenn Bundren. Speaking of Glenn Bundren, he is almost to the back bumper of the 88 car of Nick Miller. So Glenn Bundren coming down to the end of this one. Here comes Cole Williams to get the 10 lap to go signal. It is definitely not over yet. But once again, Aaron Maroney separates the championship leader with second place.
Well, if you're Blaze McKinney now, there's no point in trying to catch Cole Williams up front. You can let him have it because you're running for a championship with a teammate in between yourself and another teammate, a championship rival right behind you and Nick Miller, and possibly Nick Miller could be under fire from Glenn Bundren if he's able to get to the back bumper, but it is looking tough for that 87 car because he is still, I don't believe he's as quick as Maroney. I think Maroney's quicker than him at the moment, so he's just trying to hold off Maroney for the most part, and Miller has still yet to gain any ground. It's still there between those two. You just saw Parker White in the frame right now. He's gotten up to 6th. He just passed the 08 of J.J. Hill. He's going to try to get up to Glenn Bundren. Question is, will he have enough time, or will the caution come out in time for that 95 Toyota Camry? Meanwhile, Cole Williams still at the head of this field, approaching 8 laps to go for that 42 car to get his first win in the Bundren Lawn Care Series.
This is an entire season, a handful of races, and a lot of competition comes down to this. This is the final few laps of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series Season 2. It's been a wild ride with us on the KBueno Racing Network and having the opportunity to cover it, but it is not over yet. We see a lot of smoke. I don't know if that's a blown-up car on the apron as of right now. I'm not sure if you can find that, Kenneth, but lots of smoke covering the racetrack.
And it's the 0-2 of Josh Patterson. He's blown up. At least his engine is damaged, so hopefully he's able to get back down to pit road in time. And it looks to be he will. So he'll go down to the apron, slow the car down, and he'll be down pit road. So no yellow at the moment. Cole Williams at the head of this field with 6 laps to go. McKinney and Mulrooney's placement have not changed. Mulrooney's still looking to the bottom. Miller, though, has caught up to Mulrooney, so now the question is, can he get by in time to get up to the back of that 87?
We're going to have to see. And Nick Miller facing, obviously, an issue that Parker White's been facing all race. He's got a car in between him and the championship, that 2 car, and Mulrooney just separating him. And I can guarantee you, if they were bumper to bumper right here, Nick Miller would definitely go for it, as we have reached the 5 lap to go mark in the season and the race here in the finale. So it's going to come down to this. Blaze McKinney out front, Aaron Mulrooney currently sitting right between the 2 championship contenders here, and Nick Miller currently sitting 4th. So Nick Miller just has to go. This is his time. He needs to make that aggressive move if he wants to get out and win this race at the championship.
But he's got 4 laps to do it. Glenn Bundren, I believe, might have gotten loose off turn 4, and indeed he is slow on the racetrack into turn 1. Parker White up to 5th, but the question is, can he have enough ground, or maybe if a caution comes out, that can help him out? Mulrooney tried to look to the dog leg. Miller still eager to get by. Cole Williams is going to take 3 laps to go here at Phoenix, while they're still battling 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, you can tell Aaron Mulrooney's just hesitant with his decision right now. He knows he's faster, but if he gets side by side, he could blow up his teammates' chances to lose the championship. Another teammate, Nick Miller, scrubs the wall back there, losing more time. This is getting more prominent for Blaze McKinney, as he is just focusing on running his laps, and so is the number 42 of Cole Williams, about to take the 2 lap to go mark to try and close this one out.
Lots of smoke in the front. Not sure whether that's going to affect these drivers, or maybe if the yellow comes out, but as soon as they reach the white flag, that will signify the end of the race, and most likely it is Josh Patterson who's been blowing up, but just trying to get around the racetrack the most he can. Cole Williams still at the head of this field. Blaze McKinney still holding off his SPG teammates, with one of those being the championship rival. Off turn 4, one more time for Cole Williams to take a win at Phoenix.
Cole Williams has been silently running in the top 10 throughout this race, and finally throughout this last run was able to get up to the front through the pit stops, and is now currently looking at his first iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series win right in the eyes. But the championship battle is not over. Blaze McKinney separated just by a couple car lengths between Nick Miller. Nick Miller going to dive bomb it. This is for the championship.
And it's probably not going to be enough. Cole Williams is going to come off turn 4 and get a win for EO Media Racing, and his first win of the Bundren Lawn Care Series. And Blaze McKinney is an iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series champion for the first time in his career. A dominating season ends the way he wished it did, and it works out perfectly. Blaze McKinney, a champion in front of his SPG teammates.
And Parker White showing his upset with that number 2 car. And those 2 out front right now are going to go celebrate their wins.
What a long race, and it resulted in a first-time winner and a first-time champion. Glenn Bundren was your last champion, and he will fall through and finish 9th. He will be the final of the 4 championship contenders. Blaze McKinney, of course, your champion. Nick Miller will follow in 4th. Parker White just short of the championship after that contact with Aaron Mulrooney will finish in the top 5. We'll take a look at your results and see exactly where everyone finished. And there is your winner. Cole Williams in the 42 will take his first win of the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series season. His first one here, and his second one at Phoenix, if you count the one in LWRC, and beating Blaze McKinney there as well. Blaze McKinney will come home second, 1.5 seconds back, but the win did not matter because he is a champion. Aaron Mulrooney will finish 3rd. Nick Miller will finish 4th. Just short, did not get by his teammate to get by his other teammate, Blaze McKinney. Parker White with a heartbreaking end finishes in the top 5. William Schmidt comes home 6th after a phenomenal effort. He was in the back all race and really made the best of it there. Brianna Lavin comes home 7th. Brady Wellerman comes home 8th. Glenn Bundren, the last of the playoff drivers, comes home 9th. JJ Hill following out this top 10.
Finishing the 11th position, Josh Patterson, 3 laps down. James Jungman finishes 12th, 7 laps down. Trey Schulter with the 919 car quit pretty early tonight. Finishes in the 13th position. Shane DiMantovo with a wrecked race car finishes 14th. Keelan Belcher 15th. Cole Woody 16th. Mitch Hobbs 17th. Jacob Tyler May 18th. And Aiden B. Murray will complete the top 19.
iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series coverage on the KBueno Racing Network is brought to you by iRacing. Join thousands of sim racers across the globe in multiple disciplines of racing. By EO Media. Get your graphic design done today with EO Media. For inquiries, just message eo.media on Instagram. And by Supermix, concrete blocks on demand. Welcome back to the Phoenix Raceway, where we have had an insane race in the Bundren Lawn Care Series, and it has been wild, but we start our KBRN post-race coverage brought to you by SDC, and we'll start here with the race winner, Cole Williams, and we'll bring him into the booth, a first-time winner in the Bundren Lawn Care Series. And Cole, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us?
Sure.
Cole, you are a iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series winner. First of all, you're in victory lane now for the first time this season. First of all, just tell us how that feels and how you were able to capture this win tonight.
Oh, it's awesome, man. I was so excited. I don't know how I got that pit stop and got out and gained 3 spots on pit road, but you know what? Shout out to all my EMR guys, my EMR pit crew for getting me out there into the lead. I was a bit worried maybe if we had a 20-lap run that Blaze or Parker were gonna come past me, but then Parker got completely wrecked by Aaron, so that was unfortunate. But oh, it's awesome, man. This is great. And
it was a wild run for you in that 42 team, and you were really just stealthily there all race long. You were there within the top 5, top 10, but you really didn't make your moves yet. What really helped you there on those final restarts that really shot you up to the race lead, especially with that pit stop?
Yeah, definitely the pit stop, but yeah, I felt like I was probably like the fourth, maybe top 3 speed that entire race. Obviously I displayed it at the end, but I took 2 tires when a lot of people took 4 on one of those stops. It got me up to kind of around the 3rd area and restarted 4th, but that was what got me up and into like top 5, and then that insane pit stop got me to the lead, and then I was just like, all right, well, what do I need to do? I need to save a little bit. Do I need to just go all out? Because I was like, it was going to be a 20 lap run, so I was kind of worried. And then thankfully that caution kind of helped me because it definitely gave Blaze some damage. Shout out to him, by the way, for getting the championship. He still got it, but yeah, it definitely gave him a bit of damage and tightened up his car, as he said. So, and that definitely helped me. But I was just sending as hard as I could after I knew what was like 11 lapper into the end. So, I gave it all I had, and that pit stop saved me definitely. But yeah, man, it feels awesome to get a win this league. I tried so hard. Finally, the pit crew, it wasn't strategy, it was pit crew this time, but I was able to get out in the lead, and finally that came my way.
And it finally did, and I know that a lot of people in the chat were going crazy for you and your win tonight, especially your fellow teammates at EO Media Racing. And obviously with them, who else do you really got to thank for making tonight's effort and really this entire season happen for you?
Oh yeah, shout out to you guys for broadcasting and helping me on EMR. Shout out to Media Racing, Eli Comerford, Charlie, of course, you, just Keelan. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Aiden Kirk. I saw he was watching. He definitely would have, if he didn't have any New York Giants games to watch, he definitely would have been another competitor in that race. I guess that's pretty much it. Just shout out to you guys putting this whole entire season on, and just want to, it sucks for Parker that that had to happen to him. I honestly felt like that was going to be a wild battle until someone self spun, and that caution came out where I was able to get the lead, so it helped me. But honestly, that championship battle would have been insane. Miller catching, and then you had Blaze and Parker nose to tail, Mulrooney leading. That was going to be wild, but just. Sucks for him, but I'm happy that I was able to finally get the win, man. This is awesome.
And it certainly was for you and your 42. First of all, of course, congratulations, and we thank you for the kind words, and we thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And go celebrate your win in Phoenix, man. I know you've been waiting a while for this, and I know it must feel good. So congratulations, and we hope to see you coming to season 2.
Thank you, man.
Cole Williams out of the booth. He is your winner, but in terms of one of the biggest winners, we have our champion, Blaze McKinney, going to be your Season 2 Bundren Lawn Care Series champion here tonight at Phoenix Race. We're going to kick back to him. And Blaze, first of all, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us?
Yep.
Well, Blaze, you are a iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series champion. You finished just short of Glenn Bundren last season, but you get it this time around. First of all, just tell us your thoughts and emotions after tonight's race.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really strong all race. Got the pole, and that was kind of, I know, what we talked about in the pre-race interview. I just needed to get a good qualifying spot and kind of stay out front, and I did that for most of the race. And then the strategy started to come into play, and I made a lot of bad strategy calls to put me back in like 6th or so. And we just battled back up through, held on to the car. I mean, to be honest with you, my car wasn't really the best all race. I was kind of struggling with it, but we just fought with what I had, and we came out with it. Also, I'd like to really, I feel sorry for Parker. He definitely had a really good chance at that there, and I was really hoping to battle with him, but it's racing. Stuff happens, and I hope to see him next season battling for it again.
Well, that was certainly a hectic final couple of restarts, and you mentioned a situation with Parker White, but going to your battles with Aaron Mulrooney, Nick Miller, and your fellow SPG teammates. First of all, just tell us how that felt competing with your fellow teammates for a championship, knowing that the driver right behind you at the time was not a playoff driver, but the driver right behind him was your teammate as well, and a driver running for the championship.
Yeah, it was really stressful. Early in the race, I was kind of happy that I had some teammates behind me, just kind of getting used to the car, getting the runs and stuff. But later in the race, it got more and more stressful, especially on that last run. I had some damage from that previous caution. It just killed my turn. I had no turn, and I was just really tight. So I was happy to hang on to it. That kind of Aaron was kind of in the middle of me and Nick. Nick couldn't really get by Aaron, and Aaron really couldn't get by me. So I was just I had that cushion there that really helped too. So just glad we held him off, and glad we held off Nick's complete slide job in 3 and 4 there on the last lap. That was fun.
Yeah, and an amazing run by you and your 87 team, and a dominating season on it, to say for sure. I mean, so many wins throughout this season, and you captured another one here tonight. But before we let you go to celebrate your championship and go spill out some champagne here at Phoenix Raceway, you got any teams or sponsors or really anyone else you'd just like to thank for making tonight's effort and this entire season happen as well?
Yeah, SPG, like you were talking about, my teammates, all those guys over there, DJ, Aaron, Nick, everybody over there. Appreciate them having me on. Chris for always putting these beautiful cars on the track and sponsoring the cars. I love driving these cars. Last time this scheme will probably drive, so I'm glad we put it to victory lane here at the end. Great season with it. I think 5 wins, so I'm really happy with it. So I think those guys, just everybody that raced with me this year, it's just a lot of clean racing, a lot of fun, just really fun racing. I enjoy this every Monday. I can't wait for next season. Can't wait to see what that holds for us.
Certainly going to be seeing you down in the next season, in season 3, of course. Once again, congratulations on your championship tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate. I know it must feel good, so congratulations on behalf of all of us at the KBueno Racing Network, and we hope to see you down in season 3 at Daytona in a couple months' time, I guess.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for broadcasting this season. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Blaze McKinney finishes second, but it's just good enough to get a championship in the Bundren Lawn Care Series. We'll kick back all the way to 5th since Aaron and Nick Miller are not available for interviews at the moment. So we'll kick it all the way back to 5th place. The driver with the most heartbreak is trackside right now with Charlie Baier.
And Parker, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh man, it all came down to that last couple laps there, and contact. You're in a really good position to almost win it all, but just contact with another driver sent you around. Just talk to me what happened there.
Well, I honestly thought I was gonna have that Bennett turn 1, but then I thought I was set because I had Cole Blaze on my outside. I had the move set up. I was gonna cut the dog leg, but then I just got hit from behind. And if he wants to race me like that, he's got something next season.
And just a very consistent season for you, And you managed to just float your way through all the playoff rounds and was able to make it to the last round. But I have to ask, just what can you take away from this season and your good runs that you've had, each and every race? What can you take away and put into next season?
Well, when I entered this season at Daytona, I wasn't where I am right now. Being around Blaze, Nick, everyone that's just so talented in this has made me such a good driver. And especially this race, because I don't think I've been in another race as intense as this one. So this has definitely made me a better driver, and I'll have a lot of momentum going into next season.
All right, well, Parker Wade, thank you so much for coming out here and racing with us from the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series throughout the season so far. And it's been a lot of fun watching you, and we really appreciate you. But just to cap off the season, do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share with everyone?
I'm not sure, but I just like to point out I've been wrecked by a non-playoff driver almost every single round of the playoffs, and I'm not going to put up with that anymore next season.
All right, well, Parker, we're definitely excited to see you next season. Come back with us. You've been a lot of fun to race with this season. Just congrats, just finishing well, and just an upsetting finish for sure. But before we let you go and enjoy your off season and go hard next season, do you have any teams or sponsors that you'd like to thank for making this whole entire season possible?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank my team a lot, McGrath Sim Sport, and of course you guys at KBRN through the whole season. You guys have done such a good job. I got to thank Bundren Lawn Care, my teammate Brady Wheeleman. He's such a great help through this season. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, Parker, we're excited to see you next season, and we wish you the best luck over there. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
Parker White, heartbreaking performance here tonight. Obviously, you can kind of hear the emotion in his voice. He really thought he was in position to win this one, and he was definitely in probably the best spot coming in the last round, but just came up short. So you really have to feel for some of these guys who've kind of work this entire season to get to where they're at, and just kind of have to slip away from under them.
Yeah, it's certainly a heartbreaking effort, and really Parker White with one of the most consistent efforts all season. You got to give him a lot of credit for being the sole driver in his team pretty much the entire season, apart from tonight where Brady Williman joined the group in McGrath Sim Sport, and he's now part of their team. But apart from that, it was all Parker White, all by himself, and you got to give a lot of credit to Parker White, and I applaud him for really pushing through this entire season, and most impressively, doing it without a win, not even getting to victory lane, and still putting up top 5, still putting up top 10s with the amount of chaos we've seen, just putting up such high numbers at high consistency levels without even a race win to his resume. I think that's something you got to applaud for that 95, and I'm sure that they're going to take a lot of thought into what they've been able to accomplish this season and take it over to next season in Season 3. Well, that'll cap off all the interviews for tonight. We were going to get to all of our Champ 4. Actually, we just got one more left. So Glenn Bundren is the last playoff driver to talk to, so we'll get him in, and we'll talk to him just right before we close things out. And Glenn Bundren, first of all, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us?
I got you.
All right, Glenn. Well, probably not the best night for you and your 37 team. I know that you guys are working hard all night long. You guys had some struggles with the race car. Just tell us how that was going for you behind the wheel, and really how your race was in its entirety.
Yeah, our race car was super, super loose, even on short and long runs. I just couldn't get the throttle down to the corner. I mean, it felt like Dover, honestly, just waiting on the throttle. But we never had the car. The car wasn't there. But congrats to Blaze, man. First off, he go heck of a race. But felt bad for Parker, man. He had that championship locked up. But we're going to hit it strong next season, hopefully in November. And yeah, going to hit it from there. Switching teams to 219 Racing, that's local up there. So pumped up for it. Just wish we had the car there at the end, but we burned the right rear off of it, so sucks.
Well, now you know what it's like to be on both spectrums. You won that championship in Season 1. You're not a champion this time around, but is there really there must be a lot to learn, especially from this season, over the course of all the way from Daytona all the way to Phoenix here tonight. Is there really anything important that you want to take away coming off of this season to go into next season with a head of steam and go for a championship then?
Yeah, I mean I made it to the Final Four again, so that was a big accomplishment. Hopefully we'll do that in Season 3 actually. So we made the goal. We made the Final Four. Just I didn't capitalize on the opportunity, which I had, but it sucks. But I'm lucky to do this, man. We're very lucky. It's disappointing.
Glenn, before we let you go, you got any sponsors or teams or pretty much anyone you just like to thank for making this effort and really this entire season possible for a championship 4 run?
Yeah, I'd like to thank PPM for what they did. Switching teams to, well, this shut down actually, but switching teams to 219 Racing, I'm going to own that as an owner. So I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Parker to be on my team. Me and him are actually good friends now. So just we win some, you lose some, and to go out with no wins this season kind of bites. But we'll win, I promise, some next season. But first off, I want to thank you guys, KBRN, putting on the broadcast, Bundren Lawn Care, my business, my low-key business. But yeah, that's you guys. You guys do a lot for the series, and hopefully be bigger and better next season.
Of course, we thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and we really just masterfully thank you for putting on this season, and it means a lot to us here at KBRN for putting all these broadcasts. It's been so fun for Charlie and I to watch all of you guys go around the racetrack, and it really hasn't been possible without you at the helm. So we thank you so much, and we hope to see you there at Season 3. I know there's going to be a lot of anticipation going into Daytona, but I know it's going to be filled with a lot of good vibes. So we hope to see you there, and on to Season 3.
I got one more thing to say.
Right.
Thank you guys for coming out on the YouTube stream. You guys do a lot for KBRN subscriptions and all that kind of jazz. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming out every week. I know we have a lot of people that come out every race day, so that's pretty cool. And like to thank my dad. He always watches these races.
Well, we thank your dad and, of course, the rest of your family for being supportive of our streams, and we really appreciate it from us here at KBRN. And, of course, Glenn, thank you once again, and we hope to see you at Season 3. And, of course, the Bundren Lawn Care Series lives to see another day.
Yep, thank you.
Glenn Bundren out of the booth. That's the final interview now that we've got the championship for, apart from Nick Miller and Nick Miller, actually. Nick Miller and actually, no, I think we got everybody but Nick Miller or Aaron Maroney, but Nick Miller in the championship four. Regardless, Charlie, we've ended the season here at Phoenix, and what a ride we had. 16 races all the way to the checkered flag, each and every event. And it's been a wild ride, Charlie, and I know we've been anticipating this series every single week. And just tell us what was really the best moments for you in this entire season and watching it with us up in the booth.
Well, it's been a memorable season for sure, and obviously our first full season complete on the KBueno Racing Network, and it's had its ups and downs, but in the end, we had a really, really good race for this championship today. A lot of upset stories, and a lot of happy stories for some of these guys. But we just want to thank people like Glenn Bundren and Blaze McKinney for giving us the opportunity to broadcast this league. From the bottom of our heart, it's taught us a lot about the world of broadcasting, YouTube, Streamlabs, streaming in general, and all around just production quality. So, obviously we're still improving, but we've definitely learned a lot since the drop of the first green flag of season 2. So, from the bottom of our heart, we thank them very, very much, and we really appreciate all of you guys in the YouTube chat for coming out and watching with us every single week and reacting with us and sharing these stories with us.
And, of course, I can't really disagree with you at all there. The people in the YouTube streams, you guys are the reason why we continue to put on streams each and every night on the Bundren Lawn Care Series and on the OWRC side of things, and the reason we continue to move on and try to improve the best we can to bring the best iRacing broadcasts that you can find on YouTube. And it's been a fun ride. I know that next season is going to be a lot of anticipation, and I know we're going to be excited for that, Charlie. And it's just going to be a lot of fun, and seeing the new faces and the returning drivers come back for the season, and it's going to be a lot of fun once you go down to Daytona Beach in Daytona, Florida. Well, we appreciate and thank each and every one of you for tuning into the broadcast tonight. Of course, congratulations to Blaze McKinney, a winner at Phoenix Raceway, and actually not winner, but champion. A winner, actually. He is a champion. And Cole Williams, congratulations to him for taking a win in the first time in the Bundren Lawn Care Series for him, and a championship to Blaze McKinney. So for everyone here at the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series, of course, thanks to Glenn Bundren and Blaze McKinney for putting on the league each and every Monday. And on behalf of all of us here at the KBueno Racing Network, for Charlie Baier, my name is Kenneth Bueno, saying good night from the desert and the Phoenix Raceway. We'll see you all the way back east when we head to Daytona Beach in a couple of months.